with Daystar on their current run of form, and especially with how well they played against Weibo in their first matchup against them. This one is going to be tough to sell. Cafe, Chalet, and Clubhouse. Guz, what have you got for me?
Cafe is a crazy pick, right? Daystar, it's their permaban, and so I guess there's a little expectation for them to do well on this opening map, but Daystar doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence either, in the sense that we haven't seen it for over 160 days. It was last played against Falcons, and that would have been at SI, given it was on the 6th of February. So that was so long ago, and overall an 0-3 record. So that's going to be super intriguing if Daystar have been able to workshop effectively on that map. Chalet, ton of data. Both teams will be strong there. That one for me is a pretty close contest. And then Clubhouse should be Daystar's. It's a very comfortable map for them. So I think the path forward for Daystar, they've got a couple of options if their Cafe is strong. Chalet 50-50. Clubhouse should be good. For Orchid, they need to hope that this opening map of Cafe is strong and get it done in 2.
Any thoughts there, Jake?
No, I agree. I mean, Chalet's going to be the big swing one for me. They typically play it against the likes of Weibo and Daystar. So that's the map that Orchid go to when they want to take it up against the big boys. They don't obviously always win, but they're typically not also beaten comfortably either. So really, as I said before, on the given night, if Orchid played to their best, they could win that. I don't think Cafe is going to go their way. I'm pretty confident that Daystar should be able to open up the account here. This is just a full permaban for Orchid, unless they have been workshopping it and it's a surprise trap that Orchid have kind of laid as we head into the bans. Daystar, for me, win this. I think Orchid might then get Chalet, and we do get to see all 3 maps. With Clubhouse to the decider at that point, it would be anyone's game. There's another worldwide ban.
Yep, add it to the list.
I'm pretty certain has been a ban every single game in Asia since the change.
Yeah, it could well have been. It could well have been. I think we only saw maybe 1 or 2 maps yesterday where it wasn't. So just
yesterday wasn't Asia.
No, that is very true. But if we thought about it as the Asia Pacific League, it does technically classify within the Asia Pacific League. But a matter of technicalities, you cheated today. And I hope that Pengu has calmed down and is prepared for this cast ahead. Nick, have you got me? How you feeling?
I got you. Just want to point out here that Jake is a filthy lie. It was not banned every single map in Asia last time. The first game between Weibo and Daystar, it was actually not banned away, so that's a false stats. Just want to expose you. But except for that singular map, it was actually banned every single time.
You tell him, mate. He really upset you when he cheated by getting player to play for him against Weibo.
He did. But you know what? At one point, I was looking down to his point of view. He was like sledging an attic, and he was not having his hand on the mouse. He was clearly taking a gunfight. So saying, what's happening here? That's when I clocked it. I was like, okay, no matter how much praise you can give this man right now for the shots, this is not right anymore. This is so wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, but I will say, he actually won over my heart with the countdown intro intro
with
segment,
the little
you know?
octopus
Him in
thing.
like the little squid suit going 5, 4, 3. I thought it was beautiful, Jake.
Yeah,
Very
I
beautiful.
was a big fan of that. Big fan of that. I hope I get to see a little bit more of that. I hope I get to see a little bit more of that octopus suit. Let's dig into this, though. It's our lower bracket final. Only one of these teams will meet Weibo in our grand final to face off for that final spot in the Esports World Cup for Asia. And whoever it is out of Daystar and Orchid fighting Weibo for that spot, they've got their work cut out for them. But I tell you what, Pengu, it's really looking like, in my eyes, Daystar should be that team. They have been the hands-down second best team in Asia all year long. And if we look throughout the entirety of 2026, half a year, Orchid have never gotten a win over Daystar. They've played, obviously, already in the playoffs here and in the upper bracket. And then, of course, they played in the group stage. They played back in kickoff as well. Daystar has won every single one of those games.
They could play spoils and be upset as spaghetti, but yeah, they start off hot here. Actually, Peeps at a good swing with a cigar, takes a player down. BG Man, same story. Daystar on the back foot very quickly in this one. Heartbreacher, Soft Destroyer. And from a strategical perspective now, Daystar, they gotta go fishing. They can't play this round out correctly anymore.
Yeah, and if Peeps finds this kill, surely that's the nail in the coffin for Daystar. He gets cornered and cut down by Yao. However, Critchay is still upstairs, hunting for Pika. Out comes the util. Critchay decides it's time to vacate. Oh, but he's actually being caught. Souffle downstairs. Desperately, Critchay needs to win this fight as the peek comes through from the Sens. Pika gets him, but Exalotic quickly flanks and finds a double. With that, Orchid are about to claim the first round of defense unless the new kid on the block for Daystar can pull a rabbit out of the hat.
A very strong way to win the very first round. One, you're just playing for map control as the roamers, but also look at the bomb site all the way downstairs in kitchen. This, like on paper, is super hard to win on defense, right? The attackers will clear the map, they'll do the vert, they'll open the hatch, and they'll go for a plant attempt. And usually the attackers across all the regions will be super successful in terms of win rate on the attack. But by going for this aggressive off-pace roam, they have completely changed that conversation. Yao goes down as well. It doesn't even look in the right direction. A convincing first round here for Orchid.
And a very unusual way as well for Orchid, going for such an aggressive roam. Not a typical playstyle we see from them. And we don't see much cafe from them at all. I mean, looking back, ever since they became Team Orchid, I haven't seen any cafe out of them. And you could say something similar for Daystar. Last time they played this map, Pengu, was 5 months ago. And they actually played it 3 times back then. This was at the Six Invitational against Falcons, Furia, and Wildcard. They lost all 3 of those games. They only got 4 rounds across the 3 of them. So historically, not a Daystar map. But of course, it's been a long time. It's been half a year since then. And Daystar are looking like a much better team. You know, they went through a few different roster changes. At Six Invitational, they played with Jogor. Of course, they benched him. He moved over to Elevate afterwards. And then they got Bin for a little while. Bin didn't have a great individual performance. And only coming into Stage 1 did Daystar Bin, and bring in Yao. And he's been great. I mean, Yao is a player from the Southeast Asia region, which is kind of just not really been known, flown under the radar, if you will. And we asked Karambe, like, how did you find Yao? And he's just like, yeah, man, just found him in ranked and said, hey, do you want to join the 2nd best team in Asia?
Crazy.
And he's been phenomenal. Not necessarily a frontline player, not necessarily fragging out like a Jigsaw would, but that doesn't matter. Daystar overall look like a better team because of the space given to Pika and Souffle with Yao on the backline.
Yeah. It's about fulfilling your role and playing for the team, and that's very much what he's been doing. Yao has also been a relatively flexible player. He doesn't just play like one operator. Right now he's playing the finger to boost Pika. He can play the shields himself like Blackbeard. He can play the cutoffs. And you are correct. I also think that Daystar have been a better team because of his efforts. And when you have a very inexperienced player straight out of ranked, I also think there's a conversation about the longevity. There's a lot of potential here in Yao, right? He can learn a lot, get more reps under his belt, and come in to become his own sort of pro league player with the experience of his team members that can help him out. Lion charge going out, a finger boost to boot, and a pushing side of mining here for Pika on the blitz, going for a planet attempt right away. There's a C4.
Yeah, very nice from Lycolis. Cheeky, aggressive idea there from Daystar, but doesn't work. It looks like Orchid are very much ready for the rush. Peeps to find a double. Daystar very desperate on this attack. That's the temptation with this mining bomb site. You think you're so close, you can simply jump in that mining window, but it's never quite as safe as it seems, especially when you've got a player on site who's wary with the C4.
Bit of a miss. I mean, if you're not going for this kind of attack, surely bring the Thatcher, right? Because I can catch that one C4, the plant denial, and pocket off the mirror. I also think that Daystar, they saw the roam game last time and thought that's going to be difficult to deal with. Let's go for a direct bomb set attack. But they got baited into it again. So for 2 rounds in a row, I mean, this is going to be over. There is no chance a Souffle on top floor with almost no health to his name is going to clutch it out. So Team Orchid, with their playstyle and their choices and positioning in the early stage of the round, they completely locked out Daystar, both from taking map control and from taking the site. Souffle finds one, but gets straight right back by Lycolis, who started the round and will finish it. A great 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah. Wow. Off to a ripper start here for Team Orchid. It is defensive cafe, one of the more defender-sided maps, so I don't want to get too carried away yet, Pengu, but there's something in the water.
Is it really defender-sided these days?
Maybe not at the very top level.
Let's look. Oh, it's this conversation. Okay, I like this conversation.
You like this conversation?
I'm just checking out here.
I think these two teams, in my head, are more likely to struggle on attack than the average team.
I feel that.
That would say attend the Six Invitational. And look, I'm gonna try and get some stats to back that up. Of course, these two teams are the second.
Cafe right now has only been played 8 rounds.
Interesting.
Throughout Asia. They only been played once, I guess, and twice. Well, let me check here.
8 rounds is just one
twice,
game.
Actually,
8 rounds is only one game.
Yeah, but it's Oh, but I guess it's counting this one, right? Because this one, I mean, I'm not
yes.
sure how updated this is, but it says 2 times play, but 8 rounds. So I guess it's counting the first and this. But yeah, it has a 62.5% attacker win rate, but again, it's a singular game.
8
There's
rounds,
nothing to back this up. That's
totally. Look, if you do look statistically at Daystar and Orchid, they actually have a slightly higher attacker win rate. Oh, sorry, Daystar has a slightly higher attacker than defender win rate, 60% attack versus 58 defense. Orchid has a 49% attack win rate to 55 defense. So of course that's not unique to any specific map, that's just their overall win rate. But in general, teams that are a bit slower, a bit newer, a bit less experienced, and maybe just a little weaker tend to favor defense just because of the coordination required on the attacking side. I don't know, look, I don't want to get carried away too early, but if Orchid have a really good half here, that's quite a statement on Daystar's map pick.
And I think just the way in which Orchid have been winning is the bigger story. Like, they've been so comfortable with the roam game, taking the fights, having the right util by the bomb side for plant denial. They have not made a single mistake so far. And making no mistakes in 2 rounds on Cafe defense, honestly, is not that easy. There's a lot of map to worry about. There's a lot of strategical depth. Like, are you going to play in piano? Are you going to play there with the Assam? Are you going to fall back? Are you going to play the castle, for example? No, they're playing right now about the verticality, the C4s, and the information game. And they're doing that with the combination of Valkyrie and Mira. Just locking on top 4, limited hold. C4, I thought I was going to get a kill, but didn't.
In Yao goes. Nice job to shoot that Thorn trap, but he's about to find a player just around the corner from him. It is the Thorn. Dashes him down and finishes him with the Scar. Exalotic will fall, but Orchid are not all about just giving up. Lycolis fights back onto Azuki. Very aggressive start here from Daystar, but they don't check their corners.
Oh, no.
Critjay has allowed to get aggressive. The Blackbeard takes the fight, and yeah, does shut him down. Excellent work from the new kid on the Blackbeard, who's brought it back into the realm of possibility here for Daystar. 3v3.
It's winnable, but I will say losing the Sledge and the Hibana is 2 ops that can do a bit of vertical destruction. So they're going to be forced into maybe not the usual attack here. You know, you break the floor, you walk in library door, you go for a default plant, and to make things even more difficult here, Team Orchid, they have a rotation on the bomb side wall leading from pillar into the library side. P gets good though, finds Lycolis. It's Mira in the grave now. They can just beat him on a Rooney and Peeps on the Warden. All of a sudden, Daystar, they could just bring the fight to them.
Yeah, Peeps actually goes for a flank. He does finish off Pika. Received a bit of damage though. It's now BG and Peeps. I like that from BG.
You can't plant now.
No. Ideally, you want to destroy that cabinet, but I'm not sure if Orchid are aware. They actually have the diffuser, or no, as I say, that Yao's gone back and recollected it. It was outside on the balcony. The Blackbeard being the player to get in position to plant is perfect. However, Peeps has managed to sneak up really deep. If Souffle doesn't know where he is, he will single-handedly deny this plant. And there it is. Yao actually finds 1 kill. It's a gamble now, and Peeps doubles up for Team Orchid. Daystar had a moment and opportunity, but Peeps said not today.
It's very well done. Again, understanding how the win conditions will change throughout the entirety of a round for both teams, right? It starts off with a 1-4-1 trade. Attackers get a bit of map control top floor, but they lose the Hibana trying to cut the map in half downstairs. So it's a 4 versus 4, completely playable. Then Team Orchid, they aggress up the wide staircase. They take the Sledge out of the round. That denies them the verticality. So now it's a 3v3 because Yao trades him back. That means that the attackers cannot destroy the floor, so they cannot go for a vertical into a plant position. Team Orchid, they then lose a player, which they're not supposed to. They actually go down into a 2 versus 3, and now they feel desperate. That's where we saw Peeps walk up the red staircase, desperately saying, I'm gonna conflict the whole round. If Peeps wins that gunfight, they have a fighting chance. If he loses it, that's gonna be a 3v1 against the Blackbeard. Round is completely over. But the reason why that is such an important kill is you cannot go for a plant in a 2v2 as the attacking side. Because you have 1 guy planting, now you have 1 guy covering. You're effectively 1 versus 2. And you saw what Orchid did. 1 player flanking pillar, 1 player pushing through the bomb site. They're forcing a 2v1, guaranteed to deny the plant, and the timer was running low.
That's
so really good understanding there from Team Orchid.
I'm impressed that Yao even managed to get another kill with the Blackbeard as he took the fight inside. You know, like you said, didn't feel like he could safely just plant with Souffle covering him. He took the fight, even got the kill. So it did come down to Peeps clutching 6-1, by the way, in the first 3 rounds. Look, it's early days, Pengu, but I had a look back and I wanted to find the last time that this Team Orchid roster beat Daystar. And you have to look pretty far back, almost a year ago, way back in Stage 2 of APL last year, when they were known as Fury. They had an overtime win against Daystar. But I looked further back and I cannot find the last time that Orchid beat Daystar in a best of 3. Now, I can tell you for sure that it wasn't since Team Orchid were known as Fury and Daystar were known as Direwolves, and that gives you a pretty good idea of how long it has been.
Okay.
But Lycolis and...
Different world, different time.
Yeah, I mean, Lycolis, Critche, and BG Man have been playing against Souffle and Pika for, well, ever since 2020. It's been a very long time that these two familiar foes have met in the server, but it just seems to be that Daystar always have their number. Orchid looking to change that narrative as Yao takes a hell of a lot of damage trying to execute into Bakery. That's a very low HP and very vulnerable blitz, but he's still able to get a kill.
Yao?
Aiming down sights onto Lycolis. Yao continues to be the star player for Daystar.
Just 65, 1 HP by the way. The issue with Daystar is they lost the glass, so covering and protecting that plant from going down is now going to be almost impossible. It does feel like to me that Daystar that gotta go for plan B once again. Maybe try and get a singular kill or get a bit of vertical control because there's a player, Exolotic upstairs, who has both a C4 and a shotgun. That means you can deny most of the plant positions. And with Yao being so low health in the blitz already, he is super vulnerable. Just any bullet will confirm the injure. So Daystar, what are they gonna do here? I'll walk on in.
And the lay round 2 C4s are up as well. However, Orchid have both of their C4 players upstairs. Here come the smokes. Will there be a plant opportunity? Nitro Cell to come through the floor. Is this close enough to deal damage? It does get the injure. Poor guy, so low on HP after that initial exchange with the traps. And I'm not sure if Orchid are aware of it. They will try and force the issue. It might give Azuki and Pika a way back into it. Oh, Pika has just found a pick as well. Quickly into the 2v2. Orchid perhaps didn't know that they had downed that blitz. They should be able to finish off that kill now. Indeed, Exolotic can do so. As Critche has to rotate back, he might be given a chance though. If Pika overextends in the hallway and looks the wrong way at the right moment for Critche. It's a patience game.
Probably no.
I don't know if this is read or information, but Pika is watching the perfect position. Azuki starts to go for the plant. Exolotic needs to put some pressure vertically, but I don't think he's able to do that. Pika reveals his position, and now we're into a pose plant for Orchid. Exolotic and Critche have to play this together, and Exolotic finds his one. It's now up to Pika, but they've cornered him, hunted him down. 4 kills for Exolotic, and Orchid 4 rounds in a row.
Ridiculous. I was gonna say maybe the first couple of mistakes there from Orchid and they will lose the round because of it, but no, they find a different solution once again with the hero plays. When it came down to a 2v2, there is one spot you can plant in as the attackers, exactly where they went for it. So when you vault that prep window and go a little bit deeper into the bomb site, it's the only angle that can't be seen from the verticality up above. So it means that having a player, you know, coming down the brown staircase, having a player still up above, you cannot deny the plant. It's guaranteed to go down. And they knew where the capital was based off the in-game sound, somewhere in the red hallway. So they win the individual fights. Exolotic stopped the first plant and clutched the second after it was planted down successfully. It's been not the game of Cafe I expected here from Daystar. They're a bit slow in the server. It does feel like Yao is fired up and he's taking some risks and making some plays, but everyone else, almost like they're hesitating every step of the way.
Yeah, I gotta say, it was a bit of a gamble here for Daystar going to Cafe, a map that, like I said, we haven't seen them play in half a year. They've banned it a decent amount, but Orchid have banned this almost every single game that they have played. I mean, they've got, what, 13 times that they've had it banned in series that they've played. 12 of those, they've banned it themselves. Only one time has it been banned against them. That tells you that Orchid typically don't want to play this map. So I think you can't blame Daystar too much for saying, all right, you know, let's take a gamble, let's go to Cafe, we've been working on it. Orchid clearly don't like it, and now they're getting a little bit more than they bargained for. If they can redeem themselves with 2 rounds of attack here though, perhaps it's okay. Perhaps they can still make Cafe work. Otherwise, if Orchid steal Daystar's map pick, next up we go to Chalet. And then I would be very scared for Daystar.
Yeah. Again, just the pressure of knowing that, oh, it's a BO3, we can lose the first map, sure, but when you start losing in the second as well, you're gonna get inside your own head.
Yeah.
And it can make a big difference. The fact that it's Yao, the rookie, who's looking the sharpest in the server for Daystar, might be my biggest worry. Because we can talk about how his teammates, the experienced players here, they can help Yao thrive. They can help him get better. But is Yao as a rookie supposed to be like, guys, we got this, woo, don't worry. Like, can you be that kind of player while also playing the shield entry, getting opening kill, trying to plant? There's gotta be a limit for this individual. And that might just be what's stopping Daystar from getting that first round on the board. Someone else has to step up.
Yeah, it's usually Pika and Souffle that do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the frags. We need them to make an appearance. Yao, as we talked about on the Blackbeard, taking a lot of ground here.
Look, he's storming through the building.
Yeah, he's taken so much. Orchid have laid a lot of traps.
All the space.
Yao's just happened to walk past every single one of those thorn traps.
Really quick pace. Also, so I say juked all the C4s. Only one has been tossed on out, but still, like, he's survived with full HP. They got plenty of time to work with. They got the sledge also now for the verticality. Like, this is the first round where strategically Daystar on an even footing, and they should be able to go for a win plant. Because they are a very plant-oriented team. They do the 3, 2, 1. They work together. There's a pre-play C4 on the ceiling here. We heard from Lycolis.
He's waiting for the
they
third
are
to be opened
awaiting
up.
that hammer to go down.
Yeah.
But they're opening Cocktail right now instead, and the backside to take Library control to go for a backstab attempt instead, actually.
Good
They
double.
get 2 kills. Looking good here for Daystar.
Exalotic finds one of them. That's Pika going down, but he's about to be dueling Yao on that Blackbeard. Doesn't have any util to try and fight that Blackbeard, and so he decides to fall away. If it's a long-range gunfight and Yao takes the gamble of going for the ADS, I'd back Exalotic in to win the fight, but now he's cornered. He's trapped between 2 players. Peeps comes back for his flank, not running the DMR, but rather the MPX on the Two-Brows. An interesting choice. He can land a headshot. It may well be worth it, as Exalotic falls all the way back to replace Lycolis' position inside of Train. And yeah, the time is ticking away. Daystar might have numbers, but they need to start moving now. Great flash combined with Seal finds a kill onto Exalotic, and Souffle has the flank locked down. The question is, can Crit J deny the plant on 0 seconds to go? He needs to find where that defuse is going down, but it is too late. And Yao has rotated downstairs to hunt down the Solus and claim the first round for Daystar.
It's Yao again. Takes full map control, will walk down, get a kill, help them take Library, get a, another kill later on, get the information, and denies what could have been the plant denier downstairs inside a bakery kitchen.
Yeah, the GOAT.
It's beautiful. Daystar finally apparently, I mean, they picked him up for a reason, right? But finding a player in ranked and just kind of gambling that, yeah, this kid, he can make it in pro play, don't worry about it. And then having this kind of performance is phenomenal for Daystar.
Yeah, dream come true. After trying so many different iterations of their 5th player, the Daystar, and spending, sadly, quite a bit of time kind of in that mid-pack, overshadowed by other teams. For a while, they were overshadowed by the Old Fury, by Soul's Heart, and let's not forget about that Elevate roster with the Brazilians, with Psycho and everyone else. They were such a good team, and they were easily the second best in Asia after Weibo for a long time, until Daystar climbed their way back to the top. Now they've done so with a player who is exactly the missing piece of the puzzle that Daystar have been looking for quite some time. Admittedly though, it's been a little bit of a rough start in this game, losing the first 4 attacks in a row, but if they can conjure up a second attack before they close the half, I think that you can say that all of their woes have been alleviated. All of those problems in the first half can just be in the past, and they can focus up on just having a ripper defense of their own.
Surprising on a Mossy actually, but Cafe is a very kind of linear map when it comes to droning. You go down a hatch usually, and then you go through a singular doorway, and a Mossy Pest can stop you. And mind you, Mossy was buffed like, what, 2-3 patches ago. A slight increase in the radius of the Mossy Pest itself. It can now cover a full doorway and a full singular window, which again plays heavily into Cafe. But it's gonna be about the utility game again. There's gonna be 4 C4s vertically, Mirror Window, Kite Claws. This is Team Orchid saying, hey, we're sick of the gunfights. Here, try and problem solve these rounds instead. And if any of those 4 C4s takes down Yao and the Blackbeard, I mean, that could be the whole round with that.
Yeah, public enemy number 1 is Yao right now as he closes the distance and nullifies both of these mirror windows immediately.
Oh, bonk, bonk.
Yeah, smashes both of them. Could even go for a kill here, and he does!
What?
Continues to be deadly, does Yao, and Seal and Peak have joined the fray. At the drop of a hat, Daystar have turned this game on its head. A missed Nitro Cell as well for Lycolis. It's all fallen apart for Orchid. Daystar have brute forced their way back into this game, and a nigh flawless round caps off the half.
I feel like we're following very similar storylines to what we saw last night in the grand final with Chiefs and EP. Chiefs go up 4-0 or, 4-1, and it's that down to the last round, last 2 rounds. So hypercritical for both of the favoured teams, if you will. If Daystar go 5-1 there, I mean, it's a completely different conversation, but they've locked in, Jake.
Well, it's interesting because we were watching the first couple of rounds and just disbelief.
Yeah, couldn't believe it.
3-0, and then we're like 4-0.
Yep. What's
going on? I think we expected Daystar to obviously get back in towards the tail end of the half, and at the very least they were able to and did so pretty comfortably. I mean, those last 2 rounds weren't really too close, which, 2 attacking rounds Cafe, not the end of the world. At their map pick, I expect them to be just as dominant on the defense. So I don't think there's any panic for Daystar. Certainly the alarm bells may have been ringing at 4-0.
Round 4, sure.
But I think that's put on ice now.
Hopefully it's put on ice.
Yeah, I mean, they finally got reward for effort, though. Like, rounds 3 and 4, opening kill, there's 1 player alive, and then 2 in the next. Like, the rounds were pretty one-sided holistically for Daystar. They just weren't really being rewarded. And that's a credit to Orchid, who were finding good win conditions and actually staying alive in those rounds. And I was certainly coming in preparation for this halftime break as, how are we going to justify this scoreline and Orchid smashing the bet at a 2-4, it's stabilized.
The first 2 rounds, I think, were Orchid very much getting off to a great start.
Sure.
And Daystar at that point are probably like, okay, we need to lock in pretty quickly. And then the next 2 rounds after that, kind of like what you're alluding to, is those rounds were, Daystar have made it close, but they're still losing. And so it doesn't matter whether you win with 4 alive or 1 alive, winning's winning. And so for Orchid to go 4-0 up, that's when it could have been for Daystar. Well, do we just go wave the white flag, things aren't going our way, or do we buckle down? And they buckle down, they get the 2 rounds, and now going into the next half, they're back in a good position.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think defense is going to be the better side to be on here in this game, Cafe.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we see it a lot in Asia where the side swap does impact a lot of the conversation. I feel like sometimes in OS, mainly because of how chaotic OS gets, and APAC North in the same vein, sometimes we look at role swap, timeout swap, and we're like, I wonder how much it's really going to impact them. But when it comes to Asia, it seems to have quite a big impact.
And just circling back to that first half, shout out to Yao. We highlighted him on the pre-match in terms of a player that's showed really good promise. He's typically been playing tricky roles and his numbers haven't been great. Well, absolutely put that story to bed in the first half. 8-4. He's been the shining light for Daystar and a large reason as to why they've been able to get themselves back in a good position.
And Solotic as well. You're talking about the 2 players that are at the lower end of their respective teams. So, I think in the past, Solotic, we've always maybe felt for Team Orchid, is he good enough? Can they go to the promised land with him? We love Crit J, we love Peeps, the rest of the guys on the team have got a wealth of experience, but where's Solotic at? Well, he's had a good game, 7-4. He's a big reason why they even got off to the start that they did.
Yeah.
I think he even got a 4K in one of the rounds. No. Yeah, he did. Sorry, back in the 4th round. So, ultimately, it's nice to see those 2 be the ones to stand up as we head into the second half. The real question is, though, will the real Peeps stand up? I'm expecting him to dominate. I need Peeps to get to 15.
Will the real Jake Oxford, did he ever stand up, or is he just going to keep cheating? I mean, only time will tell, as it will in the second half here. Let's get back underway.
Yeah, well, nice one, Rob. I was going to say, as Jake Vendita would say, winning is winning. Not that he would know anything about that. But it feels like today we're just going in on this guy. It feels unfair at this point. We're 3-1-ing him. I'm sorry,
it's not
Jake,
unfair, mate. He put himself in this position by cheating blatantly in our 1v1. So I think we can rip into him as much as we want. I will say.
Yeah, I wish I was there in person,
Yeah, mate. Come on, we'll get you down.
Being there in studio, Dude, some hands would be throwing, you know?
Maybe that's why we couldn't get you in.
Nicholas Moritzen.
We just know that if you're here in person, there'd be no chance for Jake. You'd be all over him.
I mean, I would be all over him. He's a handsome man, that one. Gotta say.
Oh man, we can hope.
I heard that.
We can hope and pray for stage 2, and we'll see what happens. But for now, we got to focus up on this lower bracket final. Daystar came back in a big way at the end of that half, found their 2 rounds, and now they're getting really aggressive. Just look at the way that Seal has been contesting that hatch, tosses up his C4, doesn't find its target. Takes down one of the Roteros though, that's a nice start. Speaking of, Souffle with a TCSG on the sentry. Holds down the fort. That was a rappel angle. Wow, deep all the way onto the piano rappel player. That is a gnarly shot from Souffle.
The soft wall. That is a very, very gnarly shot indeed. I like that Daystar showing a lot of confidence and aggression early on. That's the wall right there, by the way. All the way towards New Balk. That's insane, by the way. Yep. But I like the aggression here, just the confidence. We're seeing players like your Seal, Souffle getting into the action.
Oh, Nitro.
It's not just going to be the Yao show. C4 should be good downstairs. Finds at least one. There it is. Peeps goes down, who has been the hero for Orchid a couple of times. And now they too have to spin the layers. Yao's going to be stuck in Freezer, but he's got the Razor Booms to assist him. And a gun and Souffle just right behind. So they're trying to create a trap upstairs and bait Team Orchid in.
Yeah, bomb side is not on this floor as well. Keep that in mind. So
it is not.
Orchid just doing step 1, which is clearing the top floor, and it's proven to be extremely difficult. Souffle's found a second with his TCSG, and now a third as well. My God. Tearing Orchid a new one. It's up to BG now, and he goes down. It's 4 kills for Souffle on the sentry with that TCSG from Cocktail. Bro, how is he getting that kill even while affected by the Grismod effect from the lifeline? Bro is untouchable. 3 rounds in a row here for Daystar. At what point do we start getting a little bit worried for Orchid?
Defender side of Cafe, mayhaps. You did say it yourself, James, that it could just be a case of it. I did actually look, just for funsies, into the SAL stats, because they've played Cafe 7 times, so 61 rounds. It has a 37% attack or win rate.
Oof.
So in SAL, very heavily defender favorite.
Yeah, if you get 2 rounds in SAL on your attacking side, you're doing well. Yeah, let me know if you manage to find what it is in any other region. I'd love to know. Or even in Salt Lake City.
Cafe played 7 times. I'm just looking at stage 1 because of the slight changes, right? But 7 times played in EML, 47% on attacker, so a little bit more even Steven. Then let's take a look at NAL as the final metric here. And NAL played 8 times and 53% attacker favored.
Oh,
so it goes from heavy defender favored in SAL to even in EML to attacker favored in NAL, all played 7 or 8 times. Complete toss-off, by the way.
Interesting. If we look at the Salt Lake City Major, it's exactly a 40% attacker win rate. So, of course, that's the most recent like top-level event that we've got, because the nature of like your NAL, EML, SAL, APL is you end up getting some one-sided games where it's like Weibo versus HL Tari, and it's like you don't get many good stats out of that game because Weibo's going to win all 6 attacks anyway. So that's why I like looking at the majors themselves. I feel like they're the best true test of what the best teams in the world say about the side swap. However, Salt Lake City was a couple of months ago. We've had some patches since then. Haven't seen any Wamai today after that ban. Haven't seen... Oh, we've seen a little bit of Zoph, I guess. Haven't seen much Dockerby since the changes. What's your overall take on this patch, Pengu?
To be a playmaker. Ooh. I mean... I like it when things change with a bit of a switch up. The fact that Wamai is now being banned away, Jaeger as well, and the assumption here is that we could lean into more utility-heavy meta where you play deployable shield and Jaeger Wamai. I find it quite interesting, and I think even if you're a player who plays this game or watches it and you don't like the shield meta or don't like the utility meta, I think change is good. I would rather have a new meta every, let's say, 6 months or so, and some are you gonna like, some you're gonna dislike, than have the same meta for 2 full years.
Yeah,
it just gets a bit stale to me, you know? Every team playing double shield for a while, and the shields would define everything. Shields are still strong, but they're not the #1 kind of way of playing the game any longer.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. Dockerby is played as well. That was a bit of a frustrating operator for a while.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Looks like it's a hunt downstairs to try and find Azuki here, but funnily enough, the first one to fall from Orchid is the Shield, the player that should be the hardest to take down. Azuki, low HP, and eventually finished off by Crit J. A second one looks to try and peek. It's Pika. He actually
wins that?
Yeah, wins the fight out onto the balcony. That's huge.
Okay. He's woken up. He was quiet in the attack inside, but after that shot, yep, he's here to play. That's the SMG-11 on a long-range fight. Based on a 4v3, and as you said, token the Blackbeard away from the board earlier on makes the pushing power here of Orchid a lot weaker. Who's gonna walk in first? Who's gonna take the fight? Can they even try and go for a plan? Probably not. So it's plan C for Orchid. Walk down the hallway, try and go for some crazy kills. It's gonna be a very challenging attack.
Yeah, you can see Crit J is so keen for a gunfight. He also has 2 nades as well, still remaining. But Souffle's just made some vert with his impacts. Another sentry pick from Souffle. And Pika rounds the corner to find Crit J at just the worst moment for Orchid. Now the plant's going down, but this wall is soft, and a shotgun for Pika makes it 1 and a 2 as well. Quad kill on the round for Pika. Daystar have closed the distance. 4 rounds in a row, 2 on the attack, and now 2 on their defense.
Beautiful. Again, just different individuals now stepping up to the challenge. And like I said, when Pika's hitting that shot with SMG-11, he's going to be feeling very good about taking future fights, and he gets 4 kills in the round. This is more like the Daystar we're used to watching. And it could just be a slow start to Cafe in the best of 3. It could be the attacks of Cafe being problematic. I'm not entirely certain. But if they're going to play like this on the defensive side, I think they can very easily take this one back. Very convincing 2 rounds now.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Yeah, I feel like my question is, can Orchid really show much more face here? They had so many good defense rounds in a row, but I just haven't seen anything from them in these last 4. It's been very one-sided towards Daystar. Daystar got their confidence back in the individual fights. You mentioned it, Pika, Souffle, both have had rounds where they essentially just owned themselves. And with Yao being such a standout performer on the first half, it feels like every player has woken up.
Reinforcing low. 10 seconds to go.
Also, I saw a tweet last night. I think JV92 from Brazil. He was retweeting it, saying that Monty is the most banned operator across all the regions right now. Bar none. Like, he is the most banned, which is interesting because just like off the vibe check, I would say it's true. We see it being banned almost every single game, and if it's not banned in the first rotation, you know, the first rounds you play on defense or attack, it'll be banned on the second rotation, that third operator ban, because players will pick it up, they start winning with it, you target ban it. Monty really has become an operator that teams have finally started to play at a super high frequency. Mind you, Monty has always been incredibly busted. For 10 years, since the very beginning of the game, but only played in the last 2 or so years at a very high rate since the shield rework that happened.
Yeah, I mean, Monty is just so simple.
Same with Clash.
Right. I think Clash as well, but yeah, I mean, because one of the biggest problems...
Before the rework, that is.
Any round of attack, what is one of your biggest problems? We need to take ground, we need to get information. Monty just makes those 2 things so easy. And planting, yeah.
It was funny because before Clash got reworked into her current state, she was obviously very, very strong. She used to like do damage. You couldn't kill her. She had to shield up 24/7. Everyone started playing her. Then she got reworked, and it kind of changed around a bit. And she's still frustrating and hard to deal with sometimes, but she doesn't do infinite damage without any real counterplay along with the sapping. There's all sorts of electricity now. Bandit, Kaid, Clash. It doesn't do player damage. That was changed about a year ago or so at this point. So it's funny how if you're a little bit too slow at picking up an operator and utilizing them, they might just get reworked or nerfed and then it's over.
Yeah.
And that's why the best teams in the world are quick at adapting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
So true.
And the best team to figure out the strong ops the quickest. I mean, the fact that everyone's jumping on the Wamai train, that was a big surprise to me because often it'll take a few weeks, sometimes some months before a meta shift happens after a patch note. Wamai change happened, and literally the first game after, the first series, we saw it banned or played. It was incredible how quickly everyone was to jump there.
Oh, wow, look at this. That is an aggressive rush in. There's actually an attacker already inside.
That's by the chassis.
Yeah, Lycolis has gotten all the way deep into the plant spot, and I'm not sure if Daystar are aware of it. But he does have a little bit of work still to be done, and because he's no longer upstairs, he can't use his fuse charges anymore. The cluster charges, 3 of them, still sitting in his pocket. Would have been nice to try and use them to clear out Coffee, where Pika is playing. The plant is going down, and Pika has been left undetected. He finds a double kill before he is traded back on the floor. As Azuki can now come in and support with his smokes. BG Man desperately needs to find this gunfight against Souffle, but he's looking far too high up. And Daystar can easily swim past Orchid. They saw them as they went by, but a 5th round in a row means that they finally take the lead.
Ridiculous. Again, it feels like Orchid having the exact same struggles as Daystar on the attack. They can't find like an easy opening pick and play a 5 versus 4 advantage position. So they just either simplify the round and go for a straight plant attempt. One thing goes wrong, the round is over. Fuse die without adequate cover, that's the whole round. Or they try and go for a full map clear to go for a proper setup, but they will die to the roamers of Daystar. It's the exact same thing flipped on the side swap. Team Orchid will call their own technical timeout after the operator bans. It was Solid Snake and Warden. Now, the Warden ban, we've been debating a couple of times. When you do this and you can play operators like your Ying, you like your Glass, that could just be the saving grace for the attackers, because there are now so few operators that can actually counter those smokes. Maestro, funny enough, could be one of the counter picks, because you get 3 Evil Eyes that can see through the smokes with thermal vision. Other than that, you gotta be playing vertically with C4s or, you know, get kills with utility, which is quite tricky. So very keen to see how much they will abuse this Warden ban.
Well, Orchid can't afford to lose any more rounds here. 5 in a row for Daystar. 2 more and the map is done. Oh, I saw an alt tab onto some blueprints there. Some strats. Very cool, very cool. Now, Orchid have had a chance to talk to their coach, Producer Boom, but I didn't see. I think it was actually BG Man doing a lot of the talking there from what I saw. I expect it'll be like Colas as well. Always has a lot of input on how this team functions. As they're on the attack, as you say, Warden ban. I'm seeing a Ying already. Of course, we've got repicks could always come through, but your question was how are Daystar going to deal if it ends up being a lot of Ying and Glaz and other utility that's flashes and smokes? What are they going to bring to deal with it? Are they going to bring bulletproof cameras or Maestro? The answer is no. They're going to bring a hell of a lot of C4s and info gathering from that pulse.
Just waiting for the attacker repicks to go through. There is a Ying, but surely you want to double down with a Glass, right?
Would have thought so.
Is that it? You get the finger Blackbeard, also good.
Even if you just bring the Glaz, and you don't necessarily, like most people who bring Glaz feel like they need to, it's a very old school way of thinking about Siege. You bring all your util, your Ying, your Glaz, your smokes, and you dump them all, and then you force a plan. And in the modern meta, that's extremely predictable. Sometimes it's better to play your Glaz because you have a really specific power position you want to contest. Or maybe you want your Glaz to put down his smokes and make his presence known, but it's actually just a distraction for what's happening elsewhere.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have that Glaz even just as a distraction, because when the Warden is banned, that Glaz certainly can make people a little bit scared.
It's also not even distraction, but if you make your presence known, because you can either hide the Glass so that when the smoke comes out, boom, you get a free kill, or you shoot very early and say, hey guys, we have a Glass. Now every single smoke grenade, you have to respect it, because you don't know if it's a Glass peeking it or not, but you know Glass is in the round.
Yeah.
So by the fact that you see 5 attackers and go, oh, there's no Glass in the lineup, a smoke grenade is just a smoke grenade. There's nothing scary about it. It's just plant cover or line of sight denial. So there's that kind of mental warfare. You can add the extra layer to it. But it's going to be the shield with the finger boost with Exotic on the Ying instead. Again, there is no Warden, no Soul Operator can deal with these Candelas, but getting in the building on Cafe, that's the trickier part. So like Colis, a lot of heavy lifting to do here on the Blackbeard.
Yeah, and Azuki can continue feeding info to them using his... Oh, never mind. He's dead. I cast a curse him big time. He decided to jump out using his pulse scanner for info. That's a big risk. Clearly, he didn't know where Crit J was. Or maybe he did. I think he got a little bit of damage off with his shotgun, but not enough. That was arguably the most important operator here for Daystar's defense, the Pulse, to gain information about where this plant may be going down.
Yeah.
Now Orchid are given free reign.
It's gonna apply a bit more pressure on the remaining defenders now to try and go for a kill. Just seize those gunfights 1v1. And Seal, who's 3 and 4, could win one of them here on the pillar door. Team Orchid are being very patient though, I gotta give them that. They don't want to overstep and lose a player to a silly C4 or a player ratting in a corner. They're watching things, they're droning them, checking them. And because they've spent all their drones at this point, besides this one, I guess, they have like Colus's face check the rest of the Blackbeard on the staircase. What is that? Just a little bit of a wiggle left, right, center. He gets the kill, and all of a sudden it's a 1v4, 1v3.
Yeah, I mean, Souffle can win these. Never put it past him. Dokkaebi call's about to come on through. He decides not to answer it. He'll take the damage and be forced to keep on moving. I think he's got an inkling of where Peeps was, but he looks the wrong way as he rounds the corner and Critche shuts him down. Finally, Team Orchid, after losing 5 rounds in a row, get one back. And now they themselves are just 2 away from taking Daystar's map.
A little bit surprising that Pulse opts for a jump out. It's one of those, you think it's a freebie, you become the freebie instead. But as you said, James, a very important operator in the Pulse for the information game, for plant denial, is C4 and pocket. There's definitely more that you wanted out of that operator. And it really has been a story of the shields for this one now. Yao, when he was playing the Blackbeard, phenomenal getting the map control. Now like Colis, exact same story. Bit of a back and forth dance. It is funny how we saw the Warden ban and the Ying was like completely ineffective. Like it wasn't about the Ying, it wasn't about the flashes or the smokes. It ended up being about the Blackbeard. But even though, you know, Warden can see through smokes, you're always going to have great guns. Shotgun SMT-12 or that MPX. You have a C4 in pocket usually, or deployable shield. So even if we're not talking about the gadgetry of the Warden itself, you still remove like a very strong operator from the server every single round to come.
Yeah, both team was so good with that Blackbeard. Do wonder if Daystar maybe made a mistake by banning the Snake. Solid Snake's good and all, but...
Yeah.
You know, I never really thought about this, but Solid Snake is kind of like Pulse on attack, really. He is good at getting...
Better than that.
Yeah, he's better Pulse on attack. Good at getting information, but only in a close range. And we're seeing from both of these teams how good the Pulse can be on Cafe.
You also have to make the argument that diminishing return, right? Daystar have already banned the Blitz and the Monty. Do they really spend all their operator bans at targeting 3 different shield operators and still leave the few shield open for like Colis? It feels like a... It's hard to argue the worth there. I like that they went for something else, but yeah, if Solid Snake is right choice or not, I couldn't tell you. Yeah. It's one of those operators that are a bit cheesy because you can be on the rappel outside the building and scan half the map of Cafe. And then you can just be on the piano window and check top floor, rappel down for like 1 or 2 seconds. Now you can check red flank, train, and mining from the exact same position. So you do just get a lot of map control knowledge with that Solid Snake.
That's so true. Yeah, I always forget how good Solid Snake is on rappels. Souffle, or rather Seal,
gotta be inside.
is in a really cheeky spot. Would have been nice to have a Solid Snake to know about his position. I wonder if Peeps might give away that his team is dropping Red Hatch. It's going to be a 1 free, but not a second. Yeah, he gets very greedy, but Yao also re-aggress at the exact same moment to refrag Peeps back. Very much a worthwhile trade here for Daystar. And now Orchid, just when they finally broke Daystar's momentum, get slapped in the face.
They even did damage to like Colis on the Blackbeard as well, so it's 2.5 kills at the cost of 1. It's a must-see. Like, it's purely just passive things in pocket. I mean, he did die with a C4, but let's be honest, it's still gonna be super, super worth it. Exotic with the Ying on the roof, not again having the most amount of impact on the Ying, but doesn't matter. They get the bomb site control, or the site control, but I say it back. So they was hiding above the bomb site, so they don't get that control anyway. He gets 1 more kill, fades away. In a 2v4 now, they got the Ram, they got the BB, they can still go fishing for a couple of kills. But again, planting should not be possible.
Especially not in a 2v4. BG Man trying to get as much vert as he possibly can, but Pika is just waiting there with the shotgun. Like Colis doesn't seem aware of it, otherwise you'd think he would be using the nades, and Pika shuts him out of it. Complete jump scare. Like Colis gets stabbed in the back, never saw it coming. Here come the flashes now from BG Man as he needs to focus up on that defuser. But there's 4 players to find. Azuki's now scanning him out, and Pika is hungry for kill number 13.
And there's no fear, there's no risk right now. He's got so many teammates alive in case he goes for a swing and loses it. Here comes a shotgun. It's successful. It's easy. It's free. Pika will find it. Daystar, again, that disruptive play style. And it's not solo plays like I thought, because I was thinking, okay, Mossy's going to regress into red staircase, not just go for one, but go for a second kill. That's so greedy. But then we saw the play. Yao was swinging also from the piano soft wall that was already opened up. It was actually a 2v2 fight effectively. So it was calculated, it was communicated, and because of that, I will back Daystar in that play.
I mean, you look at how this game started, right? 4 in a row from Orchid, and Yao is the only player from Daystar who's stepping up. At this point now, we've got 3 of their team on 10+ kills. Pika is 13 and 6. Souffle has hit 10 kills as well, as has Yao after his performance at the start. But it's funny because we talked about how Yao joining the roster gave space for Pika and Souffle to play more aggressively on the attack especially and frag out. They're doing so on the defense. It's really quite a story of 2 halves, but funnily enough, it felt like the second half of this game started as soon as Orchid were up 4-0 and started to let Daystar back into it. 6 of the last 7 rounds won by Daystar, by the way. 6-7.
Yep. No, why? 5 seconds. I like how Goss avoided that yesterday. He said the 5+1, 6+1. He did a great job at not dealing with you.
There is no escape.
And now you made him sick.
Ah, yeah.
You really got the man sick.
I feel quite bad for him. But on the flip side, Nick, I feel great.
Oh yeah, you feel better now?
I mean, I'm still getting there. I'm still a bit sniffly, but yesterday I started feeling a lot better.
You don't sound as nasally anymore.
Yeah, I feel a lot better than I did. Definitely like hit the eye of the storm on like our 3rd play day this week. And when you have 6 play days in a row, you really need to get over it quickly.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and my feet were feeling cold, and I was thinking, oh no, if I get sick now, it's so over.
Oh, one benefit of you not being in the studio.
Fine. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like I can usually feel like a day before I get ill that it's coming, it's arriving. But it was a false alarm, thankfully. My body doesn't know what it's feeling anymore. I'm getting old.
All right, well, I want to see what your instincts are like. What do you think, Nick? Do we go overtime here for Orchid?
I actually don't think so. There's no, like, okay, if they had a Cavatar for this round, like an easy way to deal with the bakery hold, or even a glass, for example, statistically, Team Orchid was in a great position. But they're just relying solely on guns and, like, Polish Blackbeard to do it all, and Azuki finds a freebie. They didn't breach the wall. They're not watching it. They're already progressing the round. There's been half the clock being burned away from staring at this double door. Asamis keep going out. Someone has to be the playmaker and step up right now and into the damn building.
Yeah, and the TCSGs from Daystar have been so good. There's a good shot from Exarlotic.
Ooh.
Azuki, though, takes his position very quickly with the TCSG. Starts to feel that pressure, but Exarlotic finds a second from the exact same angle. Also, Pika is caught off guard from the top of red stairs. Orchid have a way back into it. 4 versus 2 on the attack. 50 seconds, tons of time to play with. How does Souffle and Seal, well, just Souffle, how does he clutch it?
Doesn't. They got the red staircase, they got BB in the bottom side, smoking it's going out to shot the plant, and they can Doki call him as well. Actually, they haven't spotted him.
Oh, well.
But either way, plant's going down, line scan. Goya's pump, I mean, it is cooked.
Yeah, man, is gone. That's Orchid pushing us deep. It's overtime. Daystar might have looked like the better team in these last 8 rounds, but Orchid extended their lead at the start on their defense, and it's given them a lifeline here. Into OT we go. And Daystar remain on that defensive side.
It's such a shame how that round played out, because like I was saying, Team Orchid didn't have the tools to deal with Daystar and Bakery. But then 2 separate defenders will die trying to shoot at a Blackbeard shield, And then just the attacker boost spotted on the red car outside gets both kills in the exact same way. They could just kind of AFK. The Blackbeard's not a threat. As I said, no capital. No need to force their movement. A little bit overzealous, a little bit too eager to fight. Harambe gets active now with a tactical timeout. Saying, guys, just chill, just relax. I know you guys want to fight them, but sometimes not fighting is also good. You got the opening kill. Chill.
It feels like both these teams have been really good at getting aggressive, getting in their opponent's faces, especially using that Blackbeard. The Alpha, Daystar, and who was it on Orchid playing the Blackbeard? It's Lycolis. He's played a shield every single round, by the way. 5 Blackbeards and 1 Fuse. Ironically, the Fuse... Oh, no, yeah, the Fuse is one of the rounds that didn't work out for them. Blackbeard in the last 3 rounds has been instrumental. Now, Daystar have taken their tactical. Harambe has had a chance to talk to the boys as they go back to a defense round. This time, they decide to go mining. Interesting choice to me. Reading Fireplace was actually the only bomb site that they successfully defended both times. The second time Daystar went back to mining here, Orchid won it.
I like it for the simple reason that you can play more layers on this bomb site. You can start top floor, you can fall back, you can start playing the C4s downstairs in kitchen to deny the plant vertically, because that's kind of where the Warden Bank comes into effect. When you're playing the more center bomb sites of reading and mining, you're gonna have a lot more fights inside the building. You know, top floor defense, you're playing in piano, you're fighting the rappels, you're fighting the red hatching cigar, etc. It's very instantaneous fights. On Bakery, like we just saw, you as a defender are fighting people often outside the building on Bakery, double door, outside garage. So now, that we're in the middle of the building, the Ying's gonna get in there, the Shield is gonna get in there. How do you deal with that more comfortably? You play the C4s. You play the utility game. This is Daystar trying to play strategy over individual gunfights. They have a ton of intel. They have 4 C4s, and then they have the Mulisi Banshees for a little bit of intel as well on the staircases, perhaps, or where they want to take the fighting. Daystar now have to have the right players be AFK in corners and say, hey, look at me, hey, look at me. Bait Team Orchid in, then a second defender somewhere else will use a C4 vertically to try and get that kill.
I'm not sure if it was a bait that's lured Peeps inside the bomb site, but he's so close already. Does a lot of damage onto Azuki. Lycolis almost finishes him off. A nade might actually finish Azuki off completely if he can land it in the right spot. Pika does take down Exalotic. That's the Yin going down. Azuki has no choice. He had to answer his phone or stand there and die to the nade. Either way, he was dead meat. Orchid have a pick. Thanks to that Dokkaebi call and that grenade, but Daystar have fought back valiantly. Critjay, the Lion, eliminated as Peeps looks to try and get a little bit more damage onto Seal. BG Man actually must have heard that phone call. He seems like he's got the audio cue of where that position is, and Peeps almost dies to that C4. Seal now aware that his retreat has been cut off by BG Man outside, and Peeps eventually falls to Souffle. Again, another kill with the TCSG. How many of Souffle's kills have been with this slug shotgun? Now Orchid just have BG and Lycolis left. 2 of the OGs, the 2 longest running members of this squad in another 2 versus 4.
Very smart for Daystar, so they have a rotation from Pillar into Library to avoid that outside door, which BG-Man was playing the entire time, so he's wasting his time effectively. Now he goes in the building, he dies immediately, like Colossus alive, comes in with a Blackbeard, but it's 1v4, and there's a crossfire. Yao gets that final kill. Daystar, great setup, but I also want to praise Orchid. Great attempt of the attack. That's it, we see the setup, we see you top floor, we see the C4s, Peeps rat up the red staircase, toss the smoke, and jump in the windows and try and take the fight. Had they found the kill onto both the poles and I think it was Souffle behind him, now you got the bomb site in your side and you have beneath control for the C4s. A plant is super possible, but they lost 1 gunfight too many, and with that the whole round kind of crumbles. BG-Man, who was cutting off the rotations from the snow door looking into Pillar, was super ineffective because no defenders walked into his line of sight. So very small things going on there for Team Orchid, but not a bad attempt of an attack.
No, not too bad, but Daystar now have to do an attack as well, or could get a chance to go back to their defense. Remember, they won 4 in a row before they finally lost 1 round of mining and 1 round of reading. So instead, they go back down to kitchen, where they won both times. Fairly convincingly as well. The first time they played this bomb site, they only dropped 1 player. Now the Valkyrie has been banned on out here by Daystar, which restricts the info gathering somewhat for Orchid. I'm looking back at the second time they played it. They did actually have quite a different operator lineup to this. They ran Ella, Fenrir, Mozzie, Aruni, Mute. We have almost every single operator being different here. It's only the Ella and the Mute that remain. So instead, we've got a deployable shield from the smoke. We've got Crit J with the traps and Lycola. So very much leaning into time denial here from Orchid with both the smoke and the Goyo.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
I've done this shot myself before and ranked a couple times. I'm a big fan of it. You can use the aura in a couple different ways here to just kind of limit where the defenders can see in the angles. Often as you go to the single window, they're droning right down to the right hand side. Close off the bottom red double door to jump in and take Baker control from the direct door attack. So that door right there you see in the little box. A big counterplay is to have a Runi on defense, because the Runi or Scopo's punch will break it immediately, like a Castle Barricade as well. They don't have that right now. So if and when that Aura Gate goes out, you can jump in with one of the shields, all the glass, and just take full control of the red hallway once you get within control. But actually, it's going to be a bit of a flip. They're going upstairs and mining first. We're worried about the verticality. It's that or Daystar have faked the direct push to then force the defenders back towards the bomb side just to go back upstairs and do a full map take, because Seal and Dokkaebi is top floor red stairs. Yao and Blitz is in second floor reading. They are playing for full map control without any vertical operators. It feels like they're looking for someone here.
Yeah, this is weird.
There's nobody up here.
Very strange call here from Daystar.
Fake info maybe?
Even if they do take control of the full map, as you said, there are no vertical operators here, so they won't be able to really put the pressure on to Orchid on site. It's going to come down to clearing these power positions. You would think that the Rayora and the
they can't even get the hatch.
Blackbeard would be perfect for trying to take Bakery, but no. And we see Crit J aggressive inside of Small Bake now. Very strange decision.
They don't have any options like they did. They cannot go for this upstairs attack. I mean, on paper, at least, if the hatch is reinforced, I believe it is, they can't breach it. There's no hard destruction. They have no self-destruction. They can't break the floor apart either. So every single position on the bomb site is going to be super strong.
Diffuser.
Instead, they're going to walk down the staircase. Diffuser's out of the building. What is this attack?
Very risky here from Daystar. Here comes the Rayora. It does start to isolate that position on VIP, but hello from behind. Exalotic never dealt with. Now he meets the Blackbeard, who will take him down. One of the shields has fallen, but the other one very much alive and well here for Daystar. But time is ticking away.
No
Souffle on the glass has found one kill, but as you say, that defuse is still left on the balcony upstairs, which means Daystar have to go for kills.
They could get it. Dokkaebi's jumping out. Wait, he's not going to take it.
Oh,
Wait,
Crit J!
He's on the balcony. They have to go for kills.
They indeed do have to go for kills now, and they find Crit J finally trading him back. It's peeped in the 1v1 against Souffle to try and keep Orchid alive here on Cafe. Souffle doesn't have kit. He has to close the distance. Does he know where the smoke is hiding? 14 kills, looks for number 15. Not going to find it as Peeps simply stays alive. We're going to 15 rounds here as Orchid just barely hold on.
Miss input or something. Dokkaebi jumped out the red window next to the case, looks at it for a short second, goes, nah, drops down the balcony with about 10 seconds left in the round. They willingly said, we do not want the case, we do not care about it, and they picked so many strong attacking operators for a Bakery push. Maybe they saw the Goyo fire and thought it's too risky, it could go wrong, let's go for a map clear, but like we said and like we saw, they can't get the hatch. They can't get any vertical destruction whatsoever. So one of the rarest moments of any Cafe defender round, you can play anywhere on that kitchen bomb site. Not worrying about the floor above you, not worrying about Bakery, knowing the hatch is going to stay closed. That almost never happens. Daystar do have that final parachute, thankfully. They go back to defense on 7-7, and that can be what matters in the end. Because between these two teams, the attacks on Cafe have been such a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but at the same time, how did Daystar get that down to a 1v1? Should have never been possible. Orchid have to buck the trend and win out on the attacking side now.
10 seconds to go.
Now, we've had a lot of 8-7s, haven't we, in APL? These stage finals have been rife with competition. Orchid, I never expected to push Daystar too hard. I thought maybe we would see 3 maps today. I didn't think that Orchid would get this close on Daystar's map pick. Next up is Chalet and then Clubhouse, should we need it. Chalet is actually where Daystar beat Orchid, Pengu, just 10 days ago in the group stage. And it was quite a dominant 7-4. However, Orchid picked it knowing full well that they lost it to Daystar previously, and I think when a team picks a map against you that you've already beaten them on, I'd always be a little bit scared here for Daystar. I think, I think Orchid will be cooking something for Chalet, so I think Daystar really needs to dig deep here.
Often we go into overtime, we see the attackers play a bit slow and a bit more scared in the server. Nobody wants to make that risky play and it not pay off, and you put your team in a very hard to win position. And in response to that, often defenders will play more time denial ops, right? Your Goyo, your Smoke, Tachanka, etc. Not the case here for Daystar. They've picked fighting characters, right? TCSG on Seal, on the Sentry. They got a DMR and a Rooney for Yao. They can take fights. They got traps for information. Critjet taking a fair bit of damage still, and it's been seen going up the wide staircase, and he's going to go all the way up, actually.
On the top floor.
Know about this.
They might not be aware he's all the way on the top floor as he tries to go deep. He does find Yao deep inside of Freezer on the bloody bomb site. Risky play here from Daystar to go to the top floor in the very final round of this game. The first time they've decided to take us to this bomb site here on Cafe, and they do it in round 15. There are still players alive here from Orchid on the bomb site. Does Lycolis check the imperative angle? Indeed he does, but the Blackbeard out-dueled by Souffle. We need to see a trade. Critche happy to oblige. Now 2 players left alive for Daystar.
Critche fires up in the final moment of this game, on this map. He finds 2 huge injury kills, gets bomb site control, calls that roamer downstairs, and that's the problem. Daystar have had Asuki and Pika downstairs the entire time. They're on the window repels, they lock down the wide staircase, only 1 flank is open, but on the flip side, it's BG Man holding that exact flank with diffuser in hand. He has to get off that angle and try to get into the building.
Peeps has cut off Pika on the retreat back to the bomb site. All up to Azuki. And while he finds the first one, surely he's not going to be good for all 4. That's number 2. Critche decides to swing, take the gamble, and take the map for Team Orchid. My friends, we have a game on our hands. Daystar are being pushed deep here in the lower bracket final.
สวัสดีครับผมชื่อนายปัทรนายผลทรัพย์ชื่อในเกมชื่อเลเบลินครับตอนนี้เล่นให้กับโฟลี่ครับผมก็ตั้งแต่ผมเกิดขึ้นมานะครับพ่อกับแม่ผมเนี่ยเขาเปิดร้านเกมแล้วผมเนี่ยก็อยู่กับร้านเกมอยู่กับเกมมาตั้งแต่เด็กนี้พอผมโตขึ้นผมก็เล่นเกมไปเรื่อยๆเพราะว่าบ้านผมเปิดร้านเกมผมเป็นคนที่ชอบเล่นเกมยิงปืนอยู่แล้วนะครับแล้วทีนี้พอเล่นไปปุ๊บก็มีคนมาชวนเข้าทีมนั่นก็เลยเป็นจุดเริ่มต้นแห่งการเป็นนักแข่งก็ตอนนั้นตอนที่ผมผมเปิดร้านเกมนะครับเกมแรกที่ผมเล่นแล้วรู้สึกสนุกเลยก็คือเกม PB Point Blank อะไรเงี้ยเป็นเกมแรกที่ผมได้มีการแข่งขันจริงๆแล้วผมก็เล่นทุกเกมครับไม่เกี่ยวว่าจะต้องเป็นเกมยิงปืนแต่ว่าถ้าส่วนตัวแล้วก็ชอบที่จะเล่นเกมยิงปืนมากกว่าเพราะถ้าเกิดว่าพ่อกับแม่ไม่ได้เปิดร้านเกมนี้ผมอาจจะไม่ได้เป็นนักแข่งหรือว่าอาจจะไม่ได้เล่นเกมอย่างที่ทุกวันนี้เล่นครับเหมือนว่าตอนนั้นผมดูแข่งแล้วผมเห็นมีนักแข่งเล่นแล้วเห็นรู้สึกว่าเขาเท่ดีแล้วเขาตะโกนเขาเท่เขาไปแข่งเป็นทีมอะไรอย่างนี้มีชนะมีชูถ้วยทำให้ผมรู้สึกว่าถ้าผมเป็นนักแข่งเนี่ยผมก็คงอยากจะถือถ้วยอยากจะชนะอะไรอย่างนี้บ้างเป็นโมเมนต์ที่ดีก็เวลาที่ผมแข่งแล้วก็รู้สึกสนุกแล้วก็จริงจังไปกับมัน ส่วนตัวผมเป็นคนชอบตะโกนอยู่แล้วก็เลยเวลาแข่งก็รู้สึกสนุกดีถึงแม้ว่าเวลาแพ้จะเสียใจจะมีร้องไห้บ้างอะไรอย่างนี้แต่ก็สนุกดีที่ได้การเป็นนักแข่งครับก็ถ้าเมื่อก่อนก็จะการแข่งเกมก็อาจจะมีการรายการค่อนข้างเยอะอะไรอย่างนี้แต่ว่าเดี๋ยวนี้ประเทศไทยไม่ค่อนข้างที่จะไม่ค่อยเยอะเหมือนเมื่อก่อนแล้วเมื่อตอนที่ผมเล่นเป็นนักแข่ง CSGO นะครับมีเพื่อนมาชวนให้ผมไปลองเล่นRainbow Six ดูแล้วพอผมไปเล่นแล้วก็รู้สึกว่าสนุกกับมันแล้วก็พอผมเลิกเป็นนักแข่งของ CSGO แล้วก็ไปเล่นกดแรงที่ Rainbow Six แล้วก็มีคนมาชวนเข้าทีมผมก็เลยนั่นก็เป็นจุดเริ่มต้นที่ทำให้ผมได้เริ่มต้นรู้จัก Rainbow Six แน่นอนครับผมก็ยังสนุกกับการแข่งขันของเกมอยู่ถึงแม้ว่าผมจะอายุเยอะขึ้นแต่ก็คิดว่าก็คงจะแข่งเกมไปเรื่อยๆจนกว่าจะรู้สึกว่าไม่ไหวแล้วก็พ่อกับแม่ผมก็คอยซัพพอร์ตอยู่ตลอดไม่ว่าจะยังไงแล้วก็ล่าสุดก็ที่ปารีสก็มีการซื้อตั๋วให้แม่กับป้าไปเชียร์ที่ปารีสผมรู้สึกว่าก็ดีกันที่พ่อกับแม่ซัพพอร์ตก็รู้สึกว่าชีวิตหนึ่งมีครั้งเดียวก็อยากให้พ่อกับแม่เห็นในความสำเร็จของเราที่ได้มาเป็นนักแข่งได้มาแข่งในต่างประเทศอะไรอย่างนี้ถึงแม้จะไม่ชนะแต่ว่าการที่พ่อกับแม่มาดูเราแข่งก็เป็นสิ่งที่ครั้งหนึ่งในชีวิตต้องมีก็ครอบครัวก็รู้สึกดีถึงแม้ที่ผมเป็นนักแข่งแล้วพอผมชนะได้ไปแข่งนี้เขาก็รู้สึกว่าดีใจจริงที่มีลูกไปนำชื่อเสียงให้กับพ่อกับแม่อะไรอย่างเงี้ยก็ขอบคุณพ่อกับแม่นะครับที่คอยดูตามเชียร์รวมถึงป้าด้วยครับก็ทุกๆคนที่เชียร์ผมก็จะทำให้เต็มที่ทุกๆปีจนกว่าจะเลิกแข่งจะทำให้พ่อกับแม่เพียงนั้นนะครับรักพ่อกับแม่ครับ
You know, Michael, as a great man once said, if there was an animal, a spiritual animal that Team Orchid embody, it would be the Lions. And after that kind of matchup,
What?
No. What? No. We didn't take it. We didn't put it on the set. No. We didn't put it on the set. I promise. I promise we didn't put it on the set.
We need to put him back in the box.
He has got to go back in the box at this point. I'll tell you what. It's just like you don't see behind the scenes. You don't get it.
Everyone's running around this hashtag free APL man. Has anyone ever stopped to ask, should we free APL man? He's got himself a pair of pants now.
That's actually a better one. Should we? You know, generally it's how is that? No.
Hashtag put him back in the box.
Put him back in the box. Get it going. Get it trending. But as I was saying, Michael.
So, what were you saying, Rob?
Up the
Spiritual
Lions.
animal? Lion. Up the Lions. No, look, to be fair, I think Team Orchid have done a tremendous job there. After such a momentum shift happened toward that middle of the game, you know, we saw 5-6 rounds in a row, guys, where Daystar just dominated, and then just out of nowhere, Team Orchid just flick it back.
Yeah, look, I think the way I would sort of summarize that map from a Daystar perspective is they took a bit of a risk. They took a gamble. They took a punt going to a map that has very little data. Certainly for themselves, we had to go all the way back to SI the last time they had played it, and the results were quite poor. And on the flip side, Orchid had nothing at all. So Daystar took a shot in the dark. It didn't quite pay off. And unfortunately for them, as I said during the veto as it played out, for Orchid, their best path forward was going to be a 2-0. I still am very skeptical in terms of Clubhouse. And so Chalet, it's their map pick. They should be feeling comfortable. Both teams have mixed results on this map. And so it's going to be a case of, I think, just carrying across that confidence from the first.
You asked Peeps to stand up. Do you think he did so?
Well, he was supposed to stand down in kitchen, and luckily he did.
He stayed ducking.
It was pretty funny when you were saying, Peeps, it's time for... You know, we were joking off air, and you're like, it's time for Peeps to stand up. And I was like, well, actually, he needs to stand down.
Let's maybe not. Let's stay crouching.
I mean, what a way to start. I mean, you want low finals, and it's the embodiment of what we've seen so far this entire stage across all three regions, that, you know, we come into a game. Historically, you look at this matchup on paper, and it's very easy to say Daystar should be the favorites, and then Orchid go and win the first map. And it's why in the pre-show I emphasized on what we saw at the end of last year. You know, could Orchid do to Daystar what Daystar did to Elevate? Well, so far, job done on the first map, and now they get to go to their map pick of Chalet, but I do hold the reservation. Yes, it's their map pick of Chalet, but I mean, Daystar have beaten them the last 2 times on this map that they've played it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, close games, admittedly, you know, along the 7-4, 7-5 scoreline, but yeah, I mean, it's still a tricky one. I still think Daystar get us to that third map.
Look, unfortunately, just given recency bias, just given where Daystar are at the moment, I do think we do go to a third, and I think I echo Guz's sentiment here. If we do go to Clubhouse, it's going to be quite odd. But look, Team Orchid, we said it in the pre-show, and it's not just kind of filibuster. It is true. Team Orchid on their day are a very dangerous team. They have so much experience on that roster, especially within this region. Domestically speaking, they're a very stable roster. They're a very good roster, but it just really comes down to those on-the-day performances. So we move to Chalet. I mean, this now kind of, yes, it is Team Orchid's map pick, but God, I don't know how much that means in a map like Chalet.
Again, and being a rematch from that upper bracket semi, we have the data that a rematch on this map, it was in favor of Daystar last time out, so you could almost question why Orchid have allowed it as their selection. And
you'll learn from your losses. That's the way I look at it.
I just cut in and took my point, but that's all right, Jake. In terms of what the takeaways were from that one, though, Daystar attack, they looked really, really strong in that second half. And so if they have learnt and can look to transform defense, that for me is going to be the difference maker. If Orchid are to finish this out in a 2-0, refine that defense, make Daystar work a little harder on attack, that could, you know, shift the momentum, and potentially they could walk away with a 2-0 victory.
You don't always learn from your losses, though. I will actually.
As you have demonstrated.
If Orchid do win this, someone check in PC, because it might be someone else.
You just never. Maybe it's APL, man. Oh, we really need to put him back in the
where'd he go?
Oh, I don't know. But,
he's ran back down to prod.
You know, guys, I will say, I didn't hear the sickness at the start.
It's rearing its ugly head.
It's starting to rear its ugly head.
You down with it?
can almost say, you bastard, you stole it over to the casters.
I don't know what's happening on the desk, but as they devolve into chaos, let's focus up on what's before us, Nick. It's a banging lower bracket final. And as you said, the Wamai bans are incessant here at APL. These teams are just loving it. Nobody wants to play against that Wamai.
It's kind of ridiculous at this point, actually, because I'm more curious to see how teams are going to play the Wamai.
Exactly, we don't get to see it.
No one wants to get him played. I'm like, why are they banning him? What if people learned in scrims that we're not seeing? Well, we're not going to find out.
Yeah, what a
Obviously,
shame.
Wamai is not going to be, you know, a kind of, I don't know, like mirror window back when she first got released, where, oh, where can they put the mirror to, like, get the best angles and, like, whatnot. Wamai is a very simple operator in the sense that you can protect yourself and your teammates from grenades, flashbangs, smokes, etc. It counters Capitao. It just fortifies a spot, almost like a SAM in a way. Makes it more challenging to attack it. But I am curious just how impactful it is.
And something that I've been theory crafting, and I think I saw Hungry also tweet about it from the EML scene, is the very small change that happened to Omai. Right, he regenerates the discs faster, and he can now have one more at the max total. I think it's 7 from 6. But the activation time of each magnet went from 1.5 seconds to 0.5 seconds. And that is actually less time than it takes now for a grenade or a flashbang to go off. So if you see the indicator of something being thrown in your direction, and you toss down the magnet, it's gonna catch that projectile, reset the timer before it explodes, and you can save yourself very proactively. So I could really see Omai being crazy strong for that specific purpose, because even if you're fully blinded, you'll still see the grenade indicator, and could then just juggle the grenades with the magnets.
I did see that tweet from Hungry, and I thought, man, this is so inside football. This is Pengu is gonna love this. Yeah. I'm glad that you saw that. I would be amazed if I see a play like that happen, because it is very hard to pull off. Yes, the activation timer of Omai is now 0.5 seconds, but you know, you think about the reaction time you have to be able to toss that down just as soon as that nade lands at your feet. Would love to see it. I hope that we get to see it, but no, unfortunately, he's going to get banned again and again and again. So instead, we'll see more Blackbeard, which we've seen plenty of so far, as Lycolis is tempted to get on inside. This is not a bar defense, by the way. This is just a bar extension on a master bedroom defense.
Yeah. Again, Daystar, they want to challenge for the map control, just like on Cafe. It's a very similar story. So I guess we look upon the same savior from Team Orchid on the attacks, like Collis on the Blackbeard. What can he do right now to kind of get in there and force them away? When a single Adrenaline is forced Yao from leaving Library down towards Mezzanine, now of course in towards Bar itself. As our Peeps get into action, try to cut the crosses here and go for a kill. He saw his back.
Yeah, he's got a gap here surely, but the Ela does look his way. However, Yao not quite aware enough of Peeps' position in time. Free kill for Peeps on the Dockerby. No damage, almost no damage done. And now he can hack the cameras as well from Yao's body and look to try and call the rest of the players on this team. Peek on the smoke, roaming so far away from home. He's about to get contested with that SMG-12, but maybe not a wise idea to go up against the shotgun at that range, even for a player like Peeps. Look at Pika, though. He's tempted to continue fighting here. Orchid, consider hunting him down for a brief moment. I really feel like they need to just take that information and run with it. The smoke is offside. Let's start putting some pressure on everybody who's up on Master.
And the reason why P gets no hurt to get back is because he has no toxic babes left. He is just a gun for hire. He's not a plant denial operator any longer. Then it means that the bomb site is super vulnerable. If Orchid can get there in time, they have the advantage, but the timer is against him. 25 seconds, 2 defenders below, by the way.
Oh, no.
Dining, and Pika flanking, gets that first pick. That's the Blackbeard off the board. That can change everything.
Yeah.
Who's going to make that first push? Maybe Exolotic? No, he goes down on sets as well.
Yeah, this is so scary now for Orchid. They had every chance to win this round, but now they have to rely on heroics from players like Peeps and BG, man. Both of them find kills. Souffle on the bomb site with the Scorpion is helping out, but guess who's down below? It's Seal. He's done enough damage. He just needs to finish off Critche, and it turns out it's the player on the bomb site that gets aggro and does so himself. Daystar on their defense find the first round.
Very good job there, playing the different win conditions, and yeah, Pika roaming on the smoke, having no toxic babes left, ends up winning them the round low-key by taking down the Blackbeard. It's a very, very big thing that I've been seeing more and more from Daystar, understanding what player should be making what kind of play. Solus could easily have been the one flanking and playing aggressively, but that wasn't the case. Solus was playing and waiting inside a kitchen dining the entire round, saying, hey, I recognize 40 seconds, 30 seconds. This could become one of those 0-second plant and now rounds. That's going to be how I win. Pika, who has no smoke in his left, he's just a gun. He can make the aggressive play instead. And then the defenders who was playing by the bomb side, they were just tucked away in corners, proning on the ground, trying to just stay alive for as long as possible. Everyone played their role perfectly from Daystar, and it goes to show the level of communication for that to happen. Because if that does not occur in the server, someone's going to make the wrong play, the whole thing falls apart.
We know that Daystar beat Orchid on Chalet in the regular season group stage. So Orchid took a little bit of a gamble. They made a bit of a statement by trying to take Daystar back to this map. trying to get the stats from that game. Recent matches, Daystar versus Orchid, Chalet 7-4. Oh, sorry, this was actually in the upper bracket. I forgot about that. It wasn't in the group stage. Hang on. Nice shot there, Lycolis. Pika, always a little bit of a tough one to take down.
Device ready.
Early shot from him. I'm looking back at when these teams played it last time. Daystar went 4 rounds out of 5 on their attacking side after a 3-3 defensive half. That would be very terrifying. So I feel like Orchid, you know, they can't afford to just sit back and say, okay, 3 rounds on this attack is enough. Because when we switch sides at the end of the half, Daystar are terrifying once they themselves get on that attack side.
So we're a bit of a roaming clash game right now, just holding library control. There's so much time here for Orchid to just work down all the angles, and they got good operators for this round as well. Whether it's going to be the Aura closing off the lines of sight, or the DMRs going into action, the Solid Snake for the intel gathering. There are many different things they can use right now to pick up this round. The swing gets punished there. Yao oversteps. And that is Daystar feeling a bit desperate in the server, but every single member falling in these individual fights, the players behind them are going to feel even more desperate. Seal is victorious though, so effectively a 1-for-1 trade, but look at Suki in a bit of trouble there on the main stairs.
Yeah, I don't love that. I'm a little bit scared though. Look at this play from Lycolis. He's trying to take the fight against the Clash. In the end, the air jab knocks him back. Critche able to trade after Lycolis will fall. Leaves it all up to Souffle now. 3 gas babes in pocket, but he's all alone on the blue stairs. Orchid have so much time. They just need to sit back and wait. Let BG Man drone him up.
Yeah.
And then poise for a plant.
If you look at the util left right now, Orchid did a great job at spending as much as they needed early. No more lion scans, only 1 grenade, 1 raw aura panel, 1 concussion. They have spent everything to get to this point. They're not holding back at all. The stun goes out, but doesn't affect Souffle, but they know exactly where he is. Bottom blue or inside the bomb site. He's got 3 toxic babes and maybe can isolate some gunfights with them.
Plan starts to go down. Souffle waits for the swing. It's Exalotic. He does a lot of damage, but doesn't get the kill. Critche quickly to swing. Orchid, a great reply. That attack looked dicey for a brief moment after Peeps swung on that Solid Snake and died after he got his initial kill. But Orchid, really thanks to Lycolis on the Nomad, pushing up the stairs from Fireplace directly onto that Clash. Once the Clash fell, it was a bit of a skirmish back and forth. Orchid finding themselves in a 3v1.
Just the confidence to go for it. Mind you, they didn't really have information if the Clash was completely alone or somebody was maybe playing deep library or maybe playing inside a deep blue staircase. But that's where the Aurora comes into play. You can close off some of those doors and you get a couple of seconds of freedom before the defenders can open them back up. We see the replay right here. I mean, getting opening pick on Chalet is always going to be a huge moment. When you get 2 of them like this, it almost certainly gets you the round. Chalet has a lot of map to work with, and with every single player def on defense, you lose the map control as well on top of it. In that final 3v1, perfectly played crossfire, pre-fire, and a plant in a very safe position.
Looking back at the last time these teams met on Chalet, there were 2 rounds actually where Orchid got the opening pick on their attack and Daystar still won the round. Now we already saw that happen in the first round of this game. Peeps got the opening kill onto Yao, and then Daystar still managed to win the round, 4v5. Daystar actually surprisingly good at winning 4v5s on Chalet, because yeah, you would think it'd be extra difficult. This map involves so much on extending, playing power positions, and trying to fight for numbers exchanges. Like, how on earth the Daystar continue to win from 4v5s? Beats me.
Right there. They just got that clutch gene, I suppose. Getting good at striking first, but getting punished 2 rounds in a row now. Exalotic takes down the Ella of Seal. So again, maybe Daystar trying to make a play a little bit too early in these rounds. Half the team is sitting still waiting for a pick. The half is looking out the windows trying to go for a kill. And it's going to force the other players like Pika playing the smoke, having to retake what could be a dangerous spot here on the blue stairs. Because Team Orchid, they love sending 1 player deep in the building, going hunting. It's Peeps again now on the Lion. He's entered library. They have like Collis on the mezzanine right in front of him. Pika finds the kill though onto Blackbeard, so successful roaming smoke twice in a row.
Yeah, how does that keep happening, by the way? Pika always allowed to just roam aggressively wherever he wants. Lycolas being the Blackbeard to die to a headshot means he must have been holding an angle. A risk that doesn't pay off for him. Bomb sites down in kitchen and dining, by the way, which typically means step one for Orchid is to take top floor. But look at Souffle's position. Very unusual. And because that door was not opened up at the start of the round, he felt like he had that freedom to play deep inside of Fireplace. As you say, a rat, but a rat with a kill.
That's the issue when you lose out the shield player. They're so reliant for the Blackbeard to get that information. They spend so many drones in the prep phase, losing them. Great shot from CritJ. Gives them a bit of pressure towards that bomb site, maybe forcing back more players in the top floor hold. It's Pika who's back in kitchen. Asuki and Yao on the top floor trying to hold on for as long as possible. They're playing far back. They're not playing in office and master bedroom. They're playing bathroom and in that closet rotate. So it does feel like Daystar's win con right now is peeling back the layers. Again, utilizing the clock to work in their favor. They don't want to take any more fights. It's about just letting Team Orchid try and go for a plan and kind of bait them in a little bit.
3v3 is always an awkward spot to try and plant. They need to try and get that info. Bait out that time. Oh, that is so poorly timed there from BG, man. However, with CritJ finding that kill onto Pika, or at least the down, it might be enough. Azuki's still upstairs, but he's fallen. It's all up to Yao now inside of West Main. 2v1 here for Orchid with Pika on the floor. Orchid just need to be patient here. They don't need to try and force the issue, but they do look for a plant and the cover. Orchid find a second round in a row on the attacking side.
Very well played there in the 2 versus 3. So they knew that they downed the smoking side of kitchen and they had no toxic babes. So they're not even worried about him getting revived necessarily.
Dad's watching.
Was that dad appearance?
Dad's got to put a shirt on if we want to show his broadcast.
Oh man, is it one of those player jump scares where like your parent walks in, you're like, no, I'm on camera, I'm on no, go away.
We got BG, man, then we got BG
what's happening
Dad.
in the background. I think it was Exolotic had somebody cleaning with a broom behind him in a previous play day as well when we saw the player cam.
Damn, good for him. Tactical timeout now for Daystar. After Orchid find themselves 2-1 up. Time for team captain Pika and longtime teammate Souffle to really have a think about this one. They've just fumbled 2 rounds in a row. They haven't found a single opening pick so far on Chalet. They know that they're good on their own attack, so when we swap at the halves, it won't be the end of the world. That's a time to reset, but you can't afford to let this game get away from you too far on that defensive side. Last time they played Orchid here, they got 3 rounds. They've only found 1 of 3 so far.
Can you call him Souffle?
My
boy Souffle.
I misspoke, please. Well, you want me to really teach you how to... It's Azakai, Souffle, Souffle, it's Yayo, Sal, and who did I miss? I missed Pike and Zoo.
Okay.
There you go.
I like that.
That's my new pronunciation.
That would be a challenge. You know, sometimes you cast a player and maybe they're new to the scene or they play in like, I don't know, in a different region that you don't typically watch and maybe they don't speak English. And we just kind of assume how you say their name, like how we would do it. And then you learn years after
it's not like that at all.
If you were to be fully accurate, no. So a good example, right?
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Scyther.
Yes, Scooter.
Scyther, who played for Team Empire, it's Scooter. I'm like,
Russian
there's no way after like 5 years we're going to use the Russian way of saying it and say Scooter because fans are going to go, who the hell is Scooter? Like,
well,
who is named Scooter in the server?
Do you remember that old Weibo player, Ape? Obviously, his name is APE, which spells a very different word, but it's not at all how it's meant to be pronounced. He's not named after the animal. He's named after Ape, which is an Indonesian slang word. So that's, I guess it's
I didn't know that when I first started casting.
Yeah.
When I was told, I was casting with Intero back then, and I go, Abe is going for the jump out. It's like, no, Nick, it's Ape. I'm like, oh, my bad.
Oh.
Yep. It's one of those.
Yeah, we've had a few back in the time. My funniest time was when I first casted Scars, and there's a guy whose name is WQS01.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the hell am I meant to say here? Turns out it's Washoy. All right, the Japanese really... And there's like 3 crazy names on that team as well. Look, first opening kill for Daystar. Hallelujah. The tactical timeout worked.
And a second, maybe, but of a...
Ooh, never mind.
Oh! Mind, yeah. Could have been. Good watch there from Crit J. He's been very sharp today. Crit J being the sole hero to actually take that map on 7-7 on Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's 4-0.
Clutched up when it mattered. Now he's delivering on the Zoph. Wow.
Oh.
Shot through the wall there from Lycolis. Yeah. A little bit overextended. Skopos says time to get out of there. Bar defense here. Oh, you better check this next corner, though. Better check this next corner.
Oh, no. Oh, it's a shell. Okay.
It's just the shell.
I got scared.
Yeah, I thought it was a real player as well. They do take down the shell. I think Peeps is running back to get a flashbang or a grenade there from the trophy stairs. No, looking to take top floor.
Aura tech right now. Closing off the door towards the short hallway. And they can actually just walk in the fireplace double door maybe and take an easier fight later in this round. Not yet. They're not ready for it. But it's just a way of using Aura to give you less angles to worry about. But maybe a distraction game. They're going to be attacking top floor instead with the grenades. Could be a jump in here.
Yeah, indeed it is here from Lycolis. He finds the shield, takes the gunfight and gets him. Ooh. Immediately finishes him off as well, but he's about to get swung from behind him. There's a player on the mezzanine and a player inside Library. Azuki caught in a real awkward spot. He's got to decide how to play this. Is he trying to impact into office and re-aggress? He's got to worry about Crit J as well. I like the way that Orchid is slowing this down, but they can't afford to do so for much longer. 15 seconds, Azuki gets aggressive, finds one, retakes into office. Goodbye to Crit J. Lycolis upstairs, trying to recompose, but Azuki's gone massive. Huge round upstairs on the top floor as Lycolis desperately goes inside the bomb site. 1 kill, but not a second. Daystar recompose, and they tie up the scoreboard.
Very big hero play there. We saw him kind of thinking, do I impact the window? Do I impact the wall? What do I do? When do I do it? But perfect timing, can run back into office, use the holes that the attackers made with their DMRs against him and get a couple of kills towards top blue and just kind of stall out the push. I will say, like, Colas and the Blackbeard has been instrumental in so many of these rounds. He's really getting the rounds going, just jumping in with the grenade. Also good utilization of it. He jumps in the window to top blue, and instead of just, like, you know, fighting the guy behind the deployable shield, the Thorn, he tosses a grenade behind them. So if the Thorn were to run away, the grenade will more or less get the kill. If they stick around and go for a fight, well, now Blackbeard is in close proximity, can use the gadget, go for a bonk, and then get a confirmed kill afterwards. So it's very good train of thought there from Lycolis. The fact that Blackbeard has gone unbanned for the second map in a row is very surprising. But then we go back to Daystar's up bans, right? It's going to be the Monty, the Blitz, the Grim. You're not going to ban triple shields. Again, diminishing return, probably not worth it. But it does feel like Call has been so good with this operator, and it has not been answered.
I noticed no Zoph locked in for this round. But the castle's been picked. Zoph these days, with the recent buffs, getting 1 extra explosive and 1 extra concussion, I feel it's extra good against someone like Castle, who's bringing, what, 5 pieces of bulletproof util with that bulletproof camera as well. But no, instead, Crit J jumps on the Deimos. It's Peeps, though, who's the first in the building on this Dockerby. Surely he's going to find a freebie here. I think Suyil must have heard him. Yeah, he's got a feeling, I think. There's 2 players, wow.
Oh yeah.
They're going to try and refrag this out. Surely Peeps is good for 1 at least. He finds the first kill and decides to back out immediately. The Lion roars. Good call from Peeps. He knows it was Souffle. He got a glimpse of the castle, but Pika comes down to support. Wow. Impeccable teamwork there from Daystar. They commit together. Souffle does have to answer his phone, though can't afford to take 40 damage now. Bit of an even exchange here, to be honest. I mean, the Dockerby, pardon me, is a lot of util to lose, but so is the Solus.
Yeah. Solus is going to be one of those win conditions of Plant Denial, which actually won them the round previously on this exact bomb site, where it still could be... You're about causing chaos and a distraction. You have done that. You've gotten the kill and forced people to over-rotate to try and trade you back. So I say worth here for Team Orchid. But they're changing the approach back and forth from big Window Master to try and go for a fish play. Now going back towards Solarium for a backstep instead, perhaps. They don't have any easy ways in. Still have like Coast and Blackbeard on the roof. I feel like wherever he's gonna go, that's probably gonna be the main push. Now it's Crit J taking Library Balcony in his control.
Oh, careful! Oh my god!
Flies on it. He flies straight in. Doesn't fully clear the corner. I mean, the glass cannot block his vision, I guess, but he saw the two cast of barricades and thought, oh, this is completely free, guys. I'll just take it.
Oh,
it wasn't.
Yeah, that's a big mistake there from Lycolis. Also, the Blackbeard, one of the few operators that can easily clear those castle barricades with his dash. Ooh. So without that, Orchid are in a bit of strife. Thankfully, Crit J's found them a kill back, but yeah, they won't hold the numbers for much longer. Here was Souffle finding one. Pika is still all the way down below. Reveals his position when he doesn't actually have a clear shot. On for a roam. Orchid now know that's one less player on the bomb site.
He's trying to force it. It also Marvel Pika sprinting straight back up the trophy stairs to get back to his teammates, fearing that exact same rush. 20 seconds to go. Time to track someone with demos. You can't actually, sorry, you have none left. Just gotta walk on in and take the fights.
Yeah, Critche though, he's so good at doing that. Never mind, I caster cursed him. Souffle shuts him out. 3 kills of the UMP. Make that 4. Daystar well and truly back into it on Chalet. A 3rd round in a row as they take the lead. Not in a row, sorry. A 3rd round in Chalet though. 2nd in a row.
Hey, nice. Good catch. Good catch. Speaking of maps, I spoke to Jake when I was working with him the other day when you were at Sickies. Theme Park back in pro play, yay or nay?
I have my hot take is that I always loved Theme Park. Like back when Theme Park was like a common ranked map, back when I was a Maverick main, when Maverick, you know, at the peak of Maverick's power with the old nades, I loved going Theme Park because I thought it was very attackable if you knew what you were doing and you coordinated, and I loved playing Valkyrie on defense. Also, so many good pre-play drones on that map. Problem is, if you played at a high level, there's just so many choke points and so little ability to do vert on that map. I feel like these days with Deimos Dockerby, it might be a little bit more achievable. But yeah, I don't want to have any map in the game that is so attacker or defender sided that nobody wants to pick it in the best of one. And that's what happened with both Skyscraper and Theme Park. And I got so sick of it because you only ever see those maps in BO3s. And even then, both the teams aren't particularly interested in playing it. My short answer is no. My long answer is I would love to see a Theme Park map buff. And I would love to see it back in pro play.
Okay. I don't know, I wouldn't mind this idea that, you know, you have your 9 maps in Pro League and then you will have some sort of rotation. You know, you'll play maybe a stage with a new map in. I mean, I say new, but Theme Park is an old map.
How often do you think we should get a new map? Or a map change? Not necessarily like a new map, but like, you know, a change in the map pool. Every year? Every 6 months?
I think once a year would be great, like, you know, after a cycle, kind of reset the year, start a new one.
Yeah.
But if you were to have maps like Villa make a return, Theme Park make a return, maps that people already have strats on and have played for years in a row, you could probably do it every 6 months, take one map out, take one map in, and kind of get a feel for it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, most games online are played in best of ones. You can easily ban the new map if you don't want to play it. It's only going to be a bit of a drafting issue for the map video in a best of 3 environment.
All right, here we go. How about this?
Because I think Fortress came in.
Every year after 6 Invitational, one new map, as in hasn't been in Pro League before, like your Fortress or your Calypso.
I'm talking
and then every 6 months, halfway through the year, after EWC, we get one old map coming in. So that's 2...
To replace another old map.
Yeah, so 2 changes per year.
I will be down. I think we got to the point where we played the same maps for a long time. We know all the angles, like this one right here.
Very nice.
Angle successful for Souffle. Finds Peeps has been that spearhead for Team Orchid. But it's another round where the attackers are not playing out the Blackbeard as much as before because he's solo clearing top floor and Ivy. Trying to take piano control, perhaps, and while Peeps is pushing the bomb side.
It's such an imperative round for Orchid as well. Like we talked about last time these teams met in the server, it was 3 rounds apiece when Orchid were on defense, and then as soon as Daystar... Sorry, when Orchid were on attack, and then as soon as Daystar switched onto the attacking side, Daystar won 4 out of the next 5 rounds. Orchid cannot afford to let Daystar come away from this half with a 4th. They need to go big right now before we finish up on this half.
Okay, so Barricade finally dealt with to open up that bathroom angle to allow Lycolis in. There are less crossfires to watch his position. Now Orchid, they have the top floor control that they need to go for a plant downstairs. The issue is, who do you leave as a sole player above fighting three separate defenders? Oh, hello there. That's a castle.
Yeah, but BG Man further back finds his. Looking for a second now is Critche. He sees the down player. Lycolis is on the floor. However, on that Blackbeard, BG Man forcing down that plant. Azuki, no, the plant denied. Where did Pika come from? BG Man is out of it. It's all up to Exilonic now. He's got one player on the floor, but two players still to find. He can't afford to go back and spend time picking up Lycolis unless he pulls off some magic here. It's going to be Daystar finding a 4th round, and that was a team kill from Critche onto Lycolis. It's a disaster for Orchid at the end of the half.
Yeah, once again, we're having that same conversation we did before when we were like, you know, all good and well, and then teams just tend to flick it on. And I feel as though right now, that I couldn't agree more with, I couldn't remember who said it, either Dev or Pengu, but guys, that desperately needed to finish 3-3.
Yeah, I think it was Dev in reference to the last matchup, and it links into the point that I kind of made before we headed into the map, which is that Orchid will need to be really strong defensively in comparison to that last performance. And whilst that point isn't necessarily relevant to the first half, it will be for the next 6 rounds. And a round going one way or the other can make a significant difference and have big influence. So yeah, credit to Daystar and being able to fight back defensively, looking really strong across the board. Some of their hard hitters were locking in. And it was...
Oh, hey, Jakey.
And it was similar momentum to the last map, in fact, where Orchid got off to actually quite a strong start. They found rounds 2-3, and the Daystar were able to lock back in and readjust.
As you can tell, our camera operator decided to walk back in the room.
He's back.
Oh no. Prod's got my back, unfortunate, mate.
I feel like it's a missed opportunity kind of half for Orchid. That's the way I look at it. 3-3 probably would have been about right. 3-3 is maybe what it should have been.
Yeah.
And it's not. And so it's going to leave a big hole now going into that second half, as James was alluding to last time that they played on this map. Not a very good defensive half for Orchid, or, you know, really good attacking half for Daystar. However you want to frame it, it's irrelevant because it ends up with the same end product, which is now likely Daystar should go on, do some good things in the second half, and we do get the clubhouse. I will say, again, good positives. Winning a lot of the opening duels. Exilonic having a very good performance for the first probably couple of rounds of that again. So in terms of the overall series, you kind of look at the numbers. Exilonic at 15 kills, Peeps 15, Critche 17. Yeah. So I posed in the pre-match, I said, who's going to go with those two? Well, Exilonic's the one that stepped up. BG Man actually only 6 kills, guys. He's usually the one that's probably with those two. So he's got to get to a better level. Souffle, obviously doing his thing, 22 kills. That's Pika with 18. And then, in fact, all 5 members for Daystar above 12. Yeah. So you're getting a really good spread performance. Overall, Daystar's been the better of the two teams across this series. But as we peel back the curtain, Orchid are missing an opportunity to, you know, actually win this series. They could do it, even though they haven't been the better of the two teams.
Not in this map. Certainly so. But it is time for them to lock in. They've got a good opportunity here to close this out in 2. As we said, this goes to Clubhouse and it gets a little bit more dicey. I think the pendulum will swing way too heavily back into Daystar's favour. But speaking of pendulums, how about we go from the desk to the casters?
Thank you very much, Mr. Monday. Now on to Tuesday. How you doing, Nick?
Skibbity. Doing pretty good, actually. I'm a little bit distracted, I'm not gonna lie to you. My family just rocked up out of nowhere.
Your family just arrived at your house.
So every time we get like a minute break, I'm like running outside to like. I'm working from my living room.
Don't your family live on the other side of the country? Not trying to dox you or anything.
Yeah. I mean, I knew my brother was arriving because he's an electrician. He's gonna try and help me fix up my office and whatnot. But then my mom joined along, so I'm like, okay, now my mom is here. Like, what am I gonna do? So I'm running back and forth trying to figure out that everyone knows what's happening while I'm also here. But now I think we can lock in for a little bit.
Can we get your brother on the mic at some point? You think anyone will be able to tell that it's your brother?
No.
They will
be
able
if
to
somebody's
tell.
watched like the okay. If people have watched the... Oh, you mean... Wait, when you say people, do you mean the production people?
I think that people back home
the fans?
will hear your brother's voice and immediately know that it's not you. Also,
in that case,
your brother is a very quietly spoken man. Whereas you're a bundle
Very.
of fun.
Okay. That's not how I describe myself, but I'll take a bundle of fun. Do that. I'm not sure how I would describe myself these days, actually. I haven't thought about that in a while. Maybe it's time to do some reflection, get the notebook out.
Becoming more Australian by the day is how I'd say it.
That's not a bad thing. We'll take that. Peeps, though, this has been a bit of a struggle. Now 2 rounds in a row. It was Ash in the previous trying to make the play, and now Solus in a similar fashion goes down. A little bit too early, playing an important operator. And Orchid also, I think worth noting, they target banned the Dokkaby. They did not want to deal with those calls happening throughout this half. Same with the Munty, but that's no surprise at all. Omai will never get seen ever again, by the way. It's perma-banned since the patch. It's incredible. And Thorns, like the last 2 like buff defenders, right?
Yeah.
They've both been target banned away.
I'm all about the Thorn ban, though. You know my hatred for that operator.
Yep.
Oh, see you later, BG,
we
man.
swing that?
Yeah, wow. Shut out of it as well. What an angle there from Azuki on the Zafir. Speaking about buffed attackers, one of my faves. Lycolis, though, says, hey, don't forget about her sister. Ella can still be a miracle worker. Pika goes down. I think he must have peeked with the Hive launcher. Now here comes the Glaz of Yao. Does get the injure as well. You've talked, Pengu, about how Yao, despite being the least experienced player on Daystar, is trusted with these big roles on the team, like playing the Blackbeard, playing the Glaz, and he does so very well.
Yeah. Very consistent player, that's for sure. He play over swings and gets shot down. They have a player on the pick with the rail stock. Yao has to win this gunfight.
Really nicely played there by Lycolis, getting aggressive with the Grishmot. However, Yao is just better. Brings out the Bearing 9 in close range. And now Critjay can't go back inside because he's being tracked by Souffle. Detected outside, trying to bait out shots. Doesn't know for sure that Yao is right on the other side and waiting for him to enter.
Jesus.
Another round for Daystar. Another one on the back of the new kid. And they find their 5th, only 2 rounds away from sending us to Clubhouse.
What a way to play that. Demo's trying to play here on the outside balcony. He cannot jump back in the window because vertically you'll die to Demo's tracker. But he also can't walk back in the bomb side door because Yao is waiting for him. But you're right. Yao literally was the hero. Once again, they trust him with the roll of the glass, which is going to be, you know, the plant cover, the kind of entry, utilizing the smokes. But it's all down to him. His teammates are dying all around his area. He has to take the fight in bathroom. He's victorious. He has to win the final gunfight as well because his teammate, the Deimos of Seal, was downstairs. He is the rookie. He's the newest addition to this roster. And on Chalet, he has probably one of the most challenging roles. And we asked Harambe about it in a winner's interview in the previous playday. And they just said, yeah, you know, Yao likes to play his operators. He's a good player. We trust him with it. It was a very kind of relaxed way of thinking about it, because I was worried that Yao might crumble under that pressure. But just like on Cafe, you give this guy an important role and he will do his very, very best every single time and usually get the right result.
5 seconds left.
Look, you can't fault a player like that. He's slotted in very well. But despite that, I still can't deny that I was really expecting Daystar to have an easier go of it today. Yeah, Chalet's looking great. I think Orchid maybe got a bit of ahead of themselves picking this map after losing it in the upper bracket to Daystar, maybe thinking perhaps that they were a bit more on the ball than they were. But look, I didn't think Daystar would lose Cafe. And now that they have, I mean, they've been forced to go a little bit harder throughout the rest of the series. They're looking good on Chalet. Of course, if we go to Clubhouse, on paper, it's anyone's game. But yeah, I did not expect Orchid to win this series. Like, maybe take a map, but not win the series. Daystar have looked like so clearly the second best team in Asia right now. Orchid and Soul's Heart have kind of been fighting out between 3 and 4 very tightly, but Daystar have looked really good. And they're starting to show a little bit more of that on Chalet than they did on the first map today.
Or could be everything. Get that early pick, make life a little bit easier. Thorstone goes out. I think he's looking down the hole, actually. Might have seen. I don't know what he was doing there. He's dancing back and forth. 2-bar freeze goes out. That might actually cause a bit of an issue to C4, depending on the exact radius. The timing is everything here for Lycolis, and he's very patient. Wait, what? His teammate died behind him.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Souffle is snuck so
gap
deep.
find from a Capital.
Yeah. Snuck really far. That Nitro cell must have been read somehow. Daystar seemed aware of it. Orchid are really confused, I think. I mean, we've lost control so deep towards the bomb site. However, finally they've managed to hunt down Souffle. I don't know whether they got aggressive or whether Souffle maybe tried to make a little bit too much of a play, but both him and Seal will fall, which kind of puts Daystar back on the back foot, doesn't it? 3v4. Yeah, now Boots are in the building here. We've got control of, I was going to say mezzanine, but no, apparently not, because Peeps is there lying in wait. Now, a proper retake, a fall back into sight, consolidating their numbers. Daystar have control of above the bomb site, but they are severely outnumbered.
Time to go fishing. All Team Orchid have to do is just play hide and seek. Don't expose yourself to a long angle or a hatch. Burn down that timer. They're playing in stock and they're playing by the bar. And they're flanking at the same time from Crit J. This guy can never sit still. They see the barrel as well. They can't do anything about it.
And missed his shot as well. Azuki had a chance. Still on for a flank. Crit J bides his time, eventually does. And BG Man on the bomb side jumps up to find a round for Team Orchid. Much needed one after 4 in a row from Daystar. Orchid finally get back into it. Still trailing behind by 2 rounds, however. Could become a bit of a marathon.
Do you feel like it could? I'm a little bit like thinking about Weibo, right? The game after this. If you're sitting as Weibo watching this game right now, both on Cafe and Chalet, I feel like this would be a very hard match to prepare for with the external analysis.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at how these rounds are playing out, there's a Capitan basement, walk up a blue staircase, getting an opening kill. That's just a gap that the defenders have that Weibo probably wouldn't have. We're not seeing them go for a 3-2-1 execute, where the fire is going, where the main push is happening. A lot of these rounds is, for example, you know, Peeps dying 2 times in a row, making a very aggressive solo play, and then that goes punished. It's a 5v4 with the attackers, and it changes how the round is going to play out. So if you're Weibo, obviously they are expected to be the best team in the region. They're expected to qualify for the EWC from Asia. But I think you just look internally. You look at what you want to do, what your game plan is going to be, because I don't think a lot is going to apply from this game from either team going into that grand final. And it is going to give the winner of this game not an advantage, but it's going to put them in a stronger position because of it, you can argue.
I think the win, obviously, we can't string this any other way. Like, Weibo is the dragon. They are the obvious kings of Asia. Neither of these teams have beaten them ever since Weibo became Weibo, since the Bleed days. But that does also come with a lot of added pressure. Weibo have been able to live up to that pressure a lot of the time when it comes to playing domestically here in Asia, but they weren't able to muster up that pressure when it came to playing against their APAC rivals in EP in Salt Lake City, which is why Weibo find themselves in this position. Look, today, yes, Weibo go up against the winner of this match for a spot at EWC. And yes, we expect Weibo to win that 2-0. But Weibo have all this expectation on their shoulders. And for the first time, Pengu, they don't have a second chance. Every other time Weibo have qualified for an international event, like pretty much every single time, there's been that lower bracket ability. In the grand final today, there isn't that whatsoever. They'll be facing a warmed-up opponent with no parachute.
I was thought that for a second it was going to be a fly out the window kind of play, but no, Yao elsewhere gets a kill into like Halls and the Kaid. So Daystar start off strong, but getting inside and taking this bit of map control is so challenging against the Nari lasers. So they look elsewhere. They go for the bomb site instead. Yao is literally in the kitchen hallway, just about to get to that case. Looking for that one defender, and there he is behind the half wall. If they can find that kill, that will give them the whole bomb site.
Got the player down on the bomb site. Seal waits patiently on his position and does cut down the player on the rotate down. Creature though, oh, nice impact. He's going to double up. A lot of damage. See you later, Yao. Big play from Crit J. 14, or rather 12 and 4. So far, 3.0 KD. He's popping the hell off for Orchid, and he's brought it back into the realm of possibility, but swiftly shot down by Azuki. BG Man in an off position. 1v2. Azuki's a man with a defuse in his pocket. Seal's got to be the one to cover. but no concussions remain. And I don't expect there's a lot of droning left available for Daystar either. Ironically, the drone is in perfect position to find where BG Man was hiding this whole time. And now BG tries to weave the gap between the two players. Can't even find Azuki, however. And Daystar put themselves on map point, ready to send us to Clubhouse.
Beautifully done. Again, instead of attacking the problem, you just kind of walk around it, hit the bomb site where all that utility is up above and you make it completely irrelevant. Operator Ben-wise, I'm not sure what you're really going to be going for, honestly. Like, if you are on the attack, what defender is a problem?
Well, I think they're probably going to lose.
It's been pretty straightforward so far.
I mean, I think if you're Orchid, you get rid of that Blackbeard. I think that's the big thing if I'm Orchid.
Yeah. That one I see. Out of the glass.
What?
Kaid.
Glass was picked one round.
Yeah, but it's a Yao pocket pick, you know? So the only reason why I said it is in a previous game that we witnessed, I believe it was banned against them on Chalet, if not mistaken. And I think other teams just have more inside knowledge from scrims and practices than we do. I think it's a much bigger pick for Daystar and for Yao than what we believe that it is. Because we only see it once in a while.
Yao did play it twice against Orchid when they beat them in the upper bracket. But yeah, still, I mean, that's an operator that's only going to be impactful once every now and then as a pocket pick. You know, you get rid of the Capitao, that's been picked every single round. You get rid of the Zephyr, that's been picked often. You know, same with the Solid Snake. I think the Blackbeard is an obvious one just because of how oppressive it has been. Unless if they... I mean, maybe Orchid are just happy to play against the Blackbeard because they've been running so many impact grenades. They're happy to do that tick damage. We saw a lot of Ella. Yeah, I don't know if that Glaz ban is going to be that impactful. Daystar, on the other hand, getting rid of the Kaid. I mean, that's been brought back to backgrounds now by Orchid. And just getting rid of one more step in the process for Daystar will only expedite these already fairly quick attacks. One thing I am liking here from Orchid, though, is the usage of the castle and the mirror. You combine those two with the Azami and you create a lot of obstacles that Daystar are forced to clear.
It works both ways though, right? They can attack you where there's a castle barricade, but they also can have a crossfire to the defender if there's a castle barricade. It does, of course, to your point with the mirror window, it does make the first step of these rounds a lot more challenging. Attack and library head-on will require either Heart Destruction or an Ashe or a Kali. And they only have brought out the Hibana in this case an Ace. So there's going to be a ranged Heart Destruction.
Yeah, there's a lot of ability.
You can do a smoke from the Capitao, then Ace/Hibana, clear the mirror. Instead of you send in Yao the BB and try and melee it, but no, it will be the Hibana X Kairos, impact trade out in response. And also a crossfire from top blue, so they can deny a lot of Heart Destruction here. This might just not work.
I feel like Daystar will be able to get this done, surely. I mean, especially if the Capitao comes on over. Oh, wow, the Selma's being detonated. I feel like Daystar are using their util way too prematurely. And now Souffle's been peeked. Out from inside a lobby. A grow play, but Azuki gets aggressive, finds a double kill with the M762, hungry for a third, but shut down by Exarlotic. A much needed lifeline now for Orchid. As they run back towards the bomb site, tail between their legs, just in time for Peeps to jump outside and claim one more life from Daystar. Seal and Yao now must clutch up in the 2v2 to send us the distance.
Daystar overheated. Azuki didn't have to go for a third fight, but he really wanted it, and he gets shot down in response. Then a jump out from Peeps was successful, and now we're back at even numbers. Now, Yao does have the Blackbeard, but there's no more Heart Destruction, no flashbang. So they have 2 guns and a singular grenade to work with. Thankfully, that reinforced wall has been opened up already. But can you plant up against a Solace in a 2v2? Probably not. So Yao and Seal have to work together and try and find that one kill. And the final frag grenade could be the way to do it. If you know where they both are, grenade one, fight the other, and try and force that 2v1.
Daystar biding their time, deciding how they're going to play this. You're right, the nade will be instrumental. If Peeps hasn't revealed his position yet, then maybe Daystar won't be aware that the Solace is close to the bomb site. But no, it's a trade directly. Peeps now has to try and survive up against Yao. Low HP on the Blackbeard. Yao cannot afford to run through any of those Surya gates, and he can't afford to lose any HP damage to his feet. So instead, he takes the fight. Peeps swings the corner and keeps his team alive. Orchid are not done yet on Chalet. They have a few more things to say, and they will need 2 more rounds to send us to OT.
Great bit of confidence there, saying the fight is not over. We're gonna try and do everything that we can, jumping out the bathroom window, taking that risk. Imagine that had been a Claymore or something like that. Or maybe they saw the scan at first and said, we know there isn't a Claymore. We know we can go for that play. Maybe it was just that calculated and not desperate at all. There's gonna be a quick technical timeout by the looks of things. Not sure what's going on. We'll update you if we can. But it's turning up the heat here in the server. Orchid are refusing to die.
1v2 from Peeps. We've seen a hell of a lot of clutches. He had a 1v2 as well at the start of Cafe. A 1v2 at the end of Cafe. He's been the clutch king at the moment. I don't know if you noticed, but after one of his clutches earlier today, he was wagging his finger at the camera. I think Peeps is a bit of a player that has flown a little under the radar for Orchid since joining the roster. Of course, when Orchid moved from Fury to this new organization with the core of Crit J, Lycolis, and BG Man, they left Dark behind and they picked up Peeps. Here's that replay. Wow, very quick on the sticks here. One of the replays from the Peeps. He's had a few. He's been playing it up to the camera quite a bit. And he's had good reason to. 3 1v2 clutches in the series. Definitely flown under the radar for me in terms of his performances on the team. But I'm going to have a look and see where he actually sits within Asia in terms of his EPS performances. He's a top 10 player.
So many.
Actually 8th ranked in the league, above Speakeasy and Seal and I9. Which is pretty impressive. Even above Neon as well from Psych & Company, a pretty bit of a standout player.
Yeah.
The only one of his team members who's above him is Crit J.
Where's Crit J on that? Like top 4?
Yeah, well, top 5. Top 4 if you don't count the #1, technically the #1 player in Asia. But I feel like there's a bit of an asterisk there because he's only played 7 maps. Because it's N-High Cal for Elevate. So he's got a really high EPS, but keep in mind his team didn't win many games. He had a 1.54 KD across 7 maps. But if you think that is good, the #2 player in the region and the real #1 is actually Hoven. 1.92 KD from Weibo Gaming, 12 maps played.
Okay, that's absurd, by the way. Also, because when you're in a Weibo, you have so many strong players all hunting for the kills and being so capable, and then somehow one guy has 2 KD almost. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because the next best player in the league is Turdstar, who's 1.87 KD, and Reaps isn't that far behind, 1.65 KD.
Okay, wait. Can you do me a funny one? Can you sort by survival and tell me if Gotti is first?
He is, yeah. So if you sort by survival rate, can you guess a percentage? What's Gotti's survival percentage? Keeping in mind that, like, you know, most players are dying most rounds.
I know. Okay, so I'm gonna go with, like, my brain instantly want to say 42%, and I'm thinking like they had some 7-0s, the only times when they lose is I think it's higher, but realistically I'm gonna guess 42%.
All right. Yeah. So it's 52%. But
it's 52%.
52%.
Okay,
Get this.
higher.
The top 5 players in Asia right now for survival rate are Gotti, Reaps, Turd, Speakeasy, and Hoven. Literally the entire Weibo roster. They just don't.
Because it's 7-0 and 7-1. Yeah. That is incredible, actually.
But look, not far behind them is Souffle, Seal, and Pika. So, like, the top 8 players for survival rating are actually from...
But what's theirs? Pika, Souffle, what's their number at?
Souffle is at 44, Seal is 43, Pika is 40. Which is...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, still very, very high. The stat that I've been most interested in is clutch win rate percentage. And can you guess the most clutch player? I'll describe them for you.
I want to say it's Turdstar.
He's number 2. He's number 2 at 40%.
Oh,
so that's
number 2.
4 clutches out of 10 attempts. I'll give you some information about this player. So their clutch rate is 67%, a much lower sample size. They've won 2 out of the 3 clutches they've been in. Who is it?
Is it in high cal?
No, it's a player on Turds' team.
Wait. Wait, is it Gotti?
No,
It's not.
He's the 10th.
Wait, am I trolling?
It's Reeves.
Is it Reeves?
It's Reeves. He's won 2 out of his 3 clutches. A lot to talk about for us here on the cast, but I've been told that the desk are really just desperate to get themselves on the mic. What have you got for me, Rob?
We're fanging in, mate. We're fanging in. I thought we were going to have a yap back and forth.
Or are we?
Jake.
What?
Jake.
Oh.
Come on, mate.
Oh.
I know the rehost has gone for a bit. We're
Jake.
back in here. We're locking back in.
Oh, it's a rehost.
It is a rehost.
Yeah,
it is a rehost. You thought it was a little quiet for a while there.
What map are we on?
Chalet, I hope. I hope we haven't slept through the clubhouse, mate. Not yet. Look, I think, honestly, I'm quite impressed with Team Orchid.
Are you?
I am. I didn't... The thing with Daystar is when they get on a roll, it's really hard to disrupt them. And they did it on Cafe, and they've done it again here on Chalet. 4 rounds straight, Daystar was starting to look way too dangerous. Way too dangerous.
Yeah.
Just reel it back in a little.
We need to get Vinny back.
Oh, we definitely need Vinny back, mate.
Vinny back. I will say, though, for Orchid, it was looking like they were going to absolutely just get smashed.
Yeah.
2 of the last 3 rounds, 6-4, not possible. Can they string the next 2?
Yeah.
Possibly. I do feel like they might have to win it here and now if they're going to win this series. In Clubhouse, I think if Daystar get to a point where they win this, they're in form, and also, mind you, I'm pretty sure they would have the better round differential, so they would start defense club.
Dangerous
Territory to be in.
Yeah.
If I'm Orchid, I'm going to give everything I've got here. It looks like we're getting back in. I will say, again, good to see Crit J Peeps talk about consistency from the team's best 2 players, whereas Souffle 8-8 has been good, but I think you'd rather be in Souffle's position. He is 8-8. Well, he's got Seal that's got 8 kills. He's got Yao with 7 kills. He's got Azuki with 10 kills. It can't always be Crit J and Peeps. Who else is going to stand up? BG Man, like Colas. Where are these guys?
Look, I don't know how deep we want to get into this now that we're getting.
I mean, I'm ready to go. I'm deep.
You're ready to go into.
I'm
this.
ready. You know what, Rob? I think you can do a round. Let's go.
I don't think anyone wants.
Give me your analysis here. Prep phase. Match point 6-4. Orchid on defense. We're going bar games. Go.
Some great rotate holes being made. Oh, don't you dare. Don't
that's the stitch
dare.
up.
I'm walking straight down. I'm coming straight for
You know you can throw
I
it
am.
back to the guys who do know what they're talking about.
But I think it's more fun if people have to listen to us for a final round.
Listen to you, really.
That would be very true. No one wants to do that. Let's go back to the professionals, shall we?
Thanks, Rob. Always appreciate your input, mate.
Rob lasted for 4 seconds.
I liked his analysis, though.
Make a couple of rotate holes.
Them rotate holes, eh? Well, we'll leave them on the couch for now. We'll check out the check-in with them later. All right, so we're finally through that tech pause. What have we got here? Daystar, we know that they're pretty damn good on attack. Orchid have just kept their heads above the water, though.
Yeah, they've been fighting back. They've been doing a good job, honestly, for Orchid. I know it was a struggle on Cafe 8-7 victory, but here in Chalet, despite being down in numbers and down on the round scores, they are never giving up, never count them out. And speaking of that, Crit J, the hero once again, taking down Yao from the Blackbeard. That's going to be a huge pick in this one. It's going to slow down the attack quite a bit and just give them less options to work with later on.
Yeah, we really...
Of course, that's going to be... You go, James.
I was going to say, we've really sung Yao's praises. Losing the Blackbeard is expensive start. Very expensive.
His glass was bent away as well. I mean, it's a lot of target.
Bro's been
towards
counted.
him individually. Yep. You're even playing operators like your Fenrir, your Ella, that makes the shield life a little bit harder. A little one tap through the barricade of the wall. I'm not entirely certain right there, but Crit J gets as surprised as I am. And now he's fighting the player on the window where Pal also worried about the staircase.
Oh, come on, Crit J. Is he allowed to get away with anything here? He's being hunted down by 3+ players as he tries to sneak back towards Piano. I don't know how he's managed to double back here. They're aware of his position thanks to the Solar Snake from Seal. He goes for a jog outside and gets swung on by Seal. Eventually traded back, but at what cost? Look at that clock, Pengu. Daystar did not have a lot of time left.
They do not. And again, with the Blackbeard going down, they can't just speed it up magically and just start taking all that control. So step by step and actually using the Solid Snake scanner and finding, okay, is there a player blue stairs? Is there a guy mezzanine? Okay, let's push together, guys. 3, 2, 1. But there's no more line charges. So it's going to be flashbang, jumping in, push together. They just got to win their fights.
That's a good flash. Good entry from Seal as well with the FAMAS. 4v3. BG Man cornered all the way back at Library, but they know exactly where he is. Another kill comes through for Seal with that F2. 4v2. Now for Daystar as they finally have a chance to put Chalet to bed, but Peeps has been the clutch god for Orchid. He's found one, looking for a second. How has he just stolen that? Peeps finds 3 kills. It's another clutch for Team Orchid. How does he keep getting away with it?
What do you mean he hits that? He just one-tapped it to flick off the angle. I don't even think he saw the guy. He was at a pixel on the chest. He's just walking in the door. The C4 gets ripped after, and they actually don't stick to plan. So they win the round on time, not even by getting the kill. I'm telling you, there's always a fight left in Orchid. Never count them out.
Yeah, look, if Peeps keeps playing like that, then maybe there is a world where Orchid win this game. You know, it settled in for me that Orchid won Cafe, where I really didn't think they would win. But the reality hitting of Orchid winning the series, even in a potential 2-0, that still seems like far too big of a pill to swallow. Daystar are in peak form, Pengu. We kept talking about it. This is potentially the best Daystar we've seen. Yao, we've been seeing his praises. They finally seem like they have the 5 players they need. Orchid, on the other hand, it's been a spot of bother for them. We were so disappointed when Daystar dismissed Orchid in the group stage. We thought that was going to be a real contest. We thought that Orchid were maybe just in this rebuilding phase. But today they've played some of the best Siege we've seen out of them.
Yeah.
Look, if they push overtime,
that is for certain.
Anything's possible.
I think they might just have it if they go into OT. I mean, the whole thing about Daystar, since they started, you know, playing better and better on Cafe, is also like their own confidence and how they're showing up on the server. You know, P getting kills, Flay getting kills, getting to double-digit territory. Orchid's been the one kind of stealing the show for a majority of this, I would argue, which has been the upset story.
Especially when it comes to individual heroism. I mean, Peeps has had so many clutches, and if you count that last one where it was a 2v4, he found 3 of the kills, and his teammate essentially forced the final player to give up by getting off that defuse. That would be a 4th clutch for Peeps. Here comes a close range fight, but well played from Daystar. So well baited by Yao and the Blackbeard. And Peeps, the clutch king himself, has been taken out early from Orchid. Daystar have an advantage. Though they have lost one of their shield players in Pika, they still have that Blackbeard alive and well.
I like that they double down. You know, if Yao dies early, it makes the whole push that much more challenging. We saw that in the previous rounds. They did 2 shields. P can go overly aggressive, overly zealous, and if he dies, Yao is there, and vice versa. So they have a second way to win the round in the exact same fashion. Double down with the Grim, the Capital. They got strong bits of utility. They got a bit of hard destruction left, still being used right now for the office wall. There's a few play C4 just waiting for them.
Only 1 Tincano, but for the bomb side, however. That's a bit of a risk here from Daystar. No Thermite. They're not going to have a lot of hard destruction here. They're going to have to go big on the back of Yao and the Blackbeard. Slowed down by the Banshees from Malusi, but the Grim does buy them a bit of space. As Yao starts to make his way forward, he's clearing, face-checking everything. The Mute Jammers have made droning a headache. Thankfully, the Blackbeard can alleviate. However, here comes that Nitro Cell pre-placed. Does Lycolas have the info? As Seal starts to make his way forward, the Nitro Cell blind, and Seal finds the kill. Lycolas gets punished. And now Lycolas going for his flank. It's just him and BG Man left. A 2v4 again for Orchid. They've been here before.
Just send the bomb site. They know what the one guy is roaming. Just take that fight to him. Actually, I call his returns, but yeah, shut down immediately.
On the vert. BG Man's got to be careful. Cut off from the vert again. Takes a bit of damage. Does he know where that plant is going down? Doesn't matter because Daystar cannot be fooled twice. They push us to a third map and Clubhouse is required to settle this lower bracket final.
รู้สึกว่าเรนโบว์ซิกมีตัวค่อนข้างเยอะแล้วรู้สึกว่าแต่ละตัวนั้นมีปืนค่อนข้างที่จะไม่เหมือนกันแต่ว่าถ้า Counter Strike ก็จะมีแค่บุกกับการที่ปืนต่างกันแต่ว่าเรนโบว์ซิกมีปืนค่อนข้างเยอะมีตัวหลายๆตัวมีตัวใหม่เข้ามาทำให้ผมรู้สึกสนุกกับการเล่นเรนโบว์ซิกมากกว่าส่วนตัวผมเป็นคนที่ชอบเล่นเสี่ยงกล้าได้กล้าเสียเหมือนกับท็อปสันใน OG เป็นคนที่กล้าได้กล้าเสียให้กับทีมไม่ว่ายังไงอย่างนี้ผมก็เลยชอบที่จะเล่นแบบนั้นก็อาจจะเป็นสิ่งที่มีตัวละครเล่นค่อนข้างเยอะแน่นอนแล้วก็ตัวมีปืนมี ability ค่อนข้างเยอะทำให้ผมรู้สึกสนุกกับมันสิ่งนี้ที่รู้สึกว่าดีเลยของ4ก็คืออัปเดตค่อนข้างบ่อยมากกว่าเคาน์เตอร์ก็จะมีแค่แมปอะไรอย่างนี้แต่ว่า4มีการอัปเดต about ตัวแล้วก็แมปอะไรอย่างนี้ก็ผมก็กดแรงคนเดียวอะไรอย่างนี้แต่ว่าตอนนั้นก็มีกดกับเพื่อนด้วยแล้วทีนี้รู้สึกว่าตอนนั้นรู้สึกว่าเล่นดีมากแล้วมีกดไปเรื่อยๆจนมีคนน่าจะมีคนเห็นผมจำชื่อไม่ได้แล้วแต่ว่าเขาเห็นผมเล่นดีอะไรอย่างนี้เขาเลยชวนเข้าทีมก็ถ้าเป็นแรงนะครับก็รู้สึกว่าคนที่เล่นแรงนั้นเขาก็ไม่ค่อยมีความสามัคคีคอยจะทุกคนก็เล่นตามใจของตัวเองอะไรอย่างนี้แต่ถ้าเป็นการแข่งขันทุกคนจริงจังทุกคนซีเรียสทุกคนเล่นแบบจริงจังมีระบบมีแบบแผนต่างจากการเล่นแรงที่ทุกคนเล่นตามใจชิวๆเล่นไม่ซีเรียสอะไรอย่างนี้ก็ถ้ามีทีมที่เก่งๆมีทีมที่จริงจังอะไรอย่างนี้ก็จะเป็นสิ่งที่ดีสำหรับผมเพราะว่าถ้าทีมไม่จริงจังอะไรอย่างนี้ก็การแข่งขันก็เป็นค่อนข้างที่จะไม่ราบรื่นก็ถ้าจะมีความสัมพันธ์ที่ดีให้กับทีมนั้นผมคิดว่าจะต้องให้เวลากับมันให้เวลากับการแข่งขันให้เวลากับการทำสแตทให้เวลาการทำทีมอยู่กับมันอะไรอย่างนี้แล้วก็อยู่ด้วยกันกับทีมมีอะไรต้องพูดเพื่อที่จะเก่งขึ้นจนเป็นแชมป์ได้
Well, that's what we're talking about. A nice little comeback on the train for Daystar. That's a big one for them to drag across the line. Michael, you tell me when to stop.
About there.
Okay, fair enough. That's how big it is. It's a pretty long piece of string.
Pretty big, but it wasn't
like
huge.
a foot long?
Yeah, well, I think a bit longer than a foot long, but you know, we're getting there. We're getting closer to it now. I think, unfortunately for Team Orchid, we were watching that final round there, Xenox, and I just called you. I never call you Xenox.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Strange. I need to change that.
Yeah, Jake, we were watching
I just
the
need to
final
change
round.
my name, Jake.
Yeah, just Jake. Actually, that could go hard. Just Jake. No one would ever forget just Jake. But it was when Peeps died that we just looked at each other and said, well,
Yeah, that's it.
game over.
And then I said to you, Crit J also died too, and
Yep,
you're like, oh,
it's
well, that's definitely over now.
Double as bad.
It's interesting because as sweet and short as analysis as that is,
Yes.
it's on the money, isn't it? That in a 6-5 round, as soon as Peeps and Crit J die, we immediately look at each other and we say that.
Yeah.
And for all the jokingness of it, it's so true that as soon as those two die, that's it for Orchid. And it's both a good and a bad thing. It's good that they have players that are capable of clearly being so influential and so talented that there's a reason why this has been a pretty close little final and they're in this series. But it's so bad that we just don't trust the others to stand up. And you kind of look at the numbers in the Engars. It speaks for itself when you see 13-7, 13-7, and then 5-9, 4-9, and 4-9.
Yeah. And that's not without even finishing the entire map either. Our stats
No,
got cut
that
off.
is.
Oh, it is? Oh, no, technically it's catching up.
Not the last round.
Yeah, it's catching up somewhat. But it still goes to show there's a whole lot of green with 3 reds. It's not a great look. But I think, guys, moving into the third map, this was the unfortunate part of our analysis that we were talking about on the desk prior to map 2. Clubhouse probably not the greatest look for Team Orchid here.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of data for them on this map specifically, and I think tapping into the point that you're making, that if they're not playing as a well-rounded 5-man roster, Clubhouse can be very, very difficult because it's the style of map where having 1 or even 2 pop-off players is pretty rare, especially on the attacking side where you need everybody pitching in and having an impact in the round. So yeah, I don't have the greatest of confidence in them. I mean, Team Orchid did take down Soul's Heart 7-3. That's confident. Daystar haven't touched it in over a month. So I certainly don't want to sound like Daystar are absolute, like, otherworldly favorites.
Sure.
I think if I had to give it like a split, probably looking in the realm of like a 70-30 with Daystar having a firm grip on this final map. But it's not maybe as definitive as maybe I was making it sound like it was a absolute shoo-in before. But yeah, Orchid now trailing.
Yep.
And we need to see all 5 members having influence.
Oh, no, I love it when I... Okay,
give
so
it a
everyone
second to
needs to
think.
understand, when you got 2 in-ears in, and you hear Jake, Xenox, and Diddy go, you know something big's coming. Jake, it's all yours.
I'm going to say Orchid are going to win this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what, pray tell, is the analysis behind
Well, firstly,
that?
they in a pretty big match as well against Soul's Heart, who I think we would usually say are on the same level as Orchid, or at
we'd
least
say
in
that
that.
those two are very close.
You know, they dropped the first map, needed to win Clubhouse, and that was a statement. They came out of the gates, they were on defense, and they just smashed it, got the 4 rounds, and then there was actually, what most impressed me was their attack. They get 3 out of 4 attack rounds, and it was Peeps and Crit J that led the way. But they also did get a lot of help from BG Man in that game. So the way they win Clubhouse here, third and final map, lower final, they're going to need BG Man to actually
Can't be a
rock
duo.
up. It cannot be a duo, but I think more importantly, it needs to be BG Man. And secondly, I think what they're going to need is, like what you were saying, that team play. So even if you're not finding kills, be impactful, helping out with rotate holes.
Sometimes they're huge, mate. Sometimes you just don't know. They may be the balance of the game between light and darkness, good and evil. It feels like we have somewhat of a red lightsaber, blue lightsaber kind of duel here, but who's on what side, Jake? Who's
Daystar's red and Orchid's blue.
Okay, well then I guess that's as close as we're going to get. Is that it?
Absolutely. I think Orchid win this. What do you think, guys?
You really...
So this isn't like a mid of the trilogy. This is like at the end of the trilogy.
Well, I mean,
when the light side
is the
comes
third
back.
map, so it's the end. Yeah.
Return of the Daystar. They're going to lock it
Return
in.
of the
7-3.
Daystar.
I think Orchid 8-7.
I wish I had a good way to throw this in a Star Wars bit. Unfortunately, I don't. Hang on, actually, you know what? I'll try and one up that.
Was that
one.
Jabba the Hutt?
James, let's try this one. Are you gonna get this through?
Dun, da 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 da.
That was good.
Da
I would have gone with, Rob could have said, let's see which team the Force favors. That could have been a decent way to segue there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
May the Force be with Daystar. I know, I'm looking for a pun here. I'm finding nothing whatsoever. I feel like Return of the Daystar from Guz was probably where it's at.
That was a cold one, Why is he yelling?
I don't know. I can't hear what these guys are talking about. Oh, I think Xenox is trying to do a Chewbacca and it's not going down very well. Clutch up, you must. Peeps.
10 seconds to insertion.
I don't know, I was trying to be Yoda, didn't really work. What do they say?
No, I caught. So I was thinking.
You got it? What other quotes have we got?
Yeah, I got it.
Twice the pride, double the fall.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
That was a Count Dooku one.
Twice the pride, double the fall. Oh.
It's when Anakin says, "My powers have doubled since we last met, Count." Revenge of the Sith? You're a Revenge of the Sith intro? I need to watch those movies again. It's been a very long time.
Fun fact, there was a cut scene from that where, well, I don't want to spoil anything people are watching, but there was a fight sequence that was supposed to happen between Anakin and Count Dooku, where Anakin counters him into a move that he lost to previously, but that got cut from the film, sadly.
Cool. Do we want to just start a Star Wars podcast instead of casting Rainbow Six? Is that the direction we're moving at the moment?
No. No, I feel like I wouldn't be as passionate. While Star Wars was great, it's not quite Siege.
Here we go. Azuki loses his head a little bit, cut down, just like Qui-Gon in episode 1. Sorry. I need to stop. I need to stop. Somebody
take it over.
Rein me in.
I was gonna say that when we worked in Mythic Major, we were told by the production back then to get as many wet, water, drowning jokes as possible. And James, his brain couldn't turn off. For 2 weeks straight, he was making water pun after water pun. And when we returned back home to cast after the event, his brain was still fishing for more.
Yeah.
Like he was just not giving up.
Fishing for more. Yeah, I was in pretty deep. Couldn't keep my head above it.
Keep it above water. Yeah. Here we go.
All right, second pick now for Orchid, and I'm starting to believe Jakey boy. I have a feeling that the Thai team is ready to dominate. Peeps has locked down an aggressive attempt at a flank from Seal. It's not a good day for Daystar, as on the bomb site now it's just Seal. Or rather, sorry, Souffle. I cannot read. Souffle and Yao trying to desperately hold on. 5v2, so much time in the world.
Hey, it's all the same. Seal or Souffle. It's a very tough position. Again, the odds are very much against him. They're going to be attacked from the hatches, from dirt tunnel, from blue, main staircase. And here comes Icos in the black, saying, hey, I see one. He's playing so around the third box, trying to take him out. Lion's going to spot him, and Flash will follow through as well.
And so he goes deep, does like Colas. Peeps will find the kill. Yao, who we've talked so much about, now at a 1v5, all the time in the world for Orchid. But this is a situation that Yao cannot talk himself out of. It's the time for action. First kill found. Scorpion rings true, but not for the second. Lycolas is there. And they come out of the gates, sprinting down the line. Orchid immediately make a statement at the start of Clubhouse that this game is theirs for the taking.
The conviction in that round as well. It's been a bit of back and forth, but I will say this, Orchid, they just have these rounds where they turn up to 110%, where every single player is sprinting in the building and just taking the fights. When you get that kind of confidence behind them, let's say they get a second or a third round here in a row, they could just completely steal it away from Daystar. And the thing is,
Clubhouse is a very execute-heavy map where we're thinking often like 4 or 5 attacks alive, 3, 2, 1 countdown, go for a plant. That's a playstyle for Daystar I think they're very favored in when they're on the attacking side. So I think right now, while Daystar are defending, Orchid, this is where they gotta build up their rounds. I think they're gonna have an easier time attacking Clubhouse than they will defending. Not because of Orchid themselves as a team, but because of what Daystar are so good at. So every single round here on the attacking side is gonna be so important.
Attackers have discovered the location.
As the guys on the couch talked about, we saw a very important win for Orchid over Soul's Heart on Clubhouse just 3 days ago. And for Daystar, well, they haven't played Clubhouse for a month since they beat Elevate on this map. Back 2 months ago, they beat the CNL team 4 AM, lost to Weibo, and beat Fury. So a bit all over the place for Daystar, but nothing recent. Orchid have that result against Soul's Heart fresh in their minds. But this is the first time either of these teams have played this map on this new patch. Wamai banned out by Orchid, and for good reason too. Wamai would be able to create a fortress on that position where Azuki himself is playing with his ADSs to assist him. But no keeper barriers from the Azami. How will Orchid clear him out? No Capital, just flashes and nades, and a Blackbeard.
Yeah. It's one of those cases where you might need to take CCTV away from them first and hit them from the window and from the reinforced wall and the catwalk rafters, or the one-way angle that we spoke about with Scatman a few days ago, actually. This is how you can win if Azuki goes for a swing. But all he has to do is do what he's doing right now. Stay prone. Don't take any risks. The only way you die is if you make a mistake.
BG Man is just waiting
right there
for Azuki to step a little bit too far back. Tiny bit of damage onto him. There's also an injury onto Yao, who tried to swing inside the bomb site a little bit too much. Here come the nades and the Blackbeard, but he's taken a hell of a lot of damage. And Azuki actually wins his gunfight against the Blackbeard. Exalotic, though, to punish some aggression from Seal on these windows. Daystar burned a little bit too bright after they found that pick, and now they're suffering for it. Yao still on the floor. It needs to be revived, but I think that ship has sailed. Look at Orchid now. Yeah. They've taken control of rafters. They're looking to try and mount this attack, but Souffle lashing out onto Exalotic. He's taken a bunch of damage out from the breach through that breached wall. Pika back on the bomb site. Orchid poised to look for a plant.
I think they recognize there are 2 defenders in this area, so the bomb site is very vulnerable. They rotated over Beachman, breaching out that Jacuzzi. This can force one of 2 things. Either it's going to force a defender back towards the bomb site, which we know that it has, or it gives them a backstab potential later on if they see that both of those defenders are still roaming inside of CCTV. The only issue is time. There's 20 seconds. They got to find these players with the last few drones that they have available. 3 to 1, commit together. But we see there's a player just hiding by that Jacuzzi breach that could easily get a kill or 2.
Oh no.
It's Souffle.
Yeah, and he's found one. I don't think there's anyone playing breach as well. Kriche straight into the bomb site, looks for a plant. Pika and Souffle just need to deny this plant, and the round is theirs. Peeps finds one, but guess who sneaks up from behind? Souffle to clutch up the round. 1v2. And Daystar are on the scoreboard.
So close, but they make a good push there together. Just one guy going for master, one guy from the gym hallway. He only catches one. Timer works in favor of the defense always. And I gotta say, I mean, that might have been Azuki's round that he won for his team. He got a kill on the catwalk rafters, and he stalled so much time, putting a couple of flashbangs and grenades. That adds up. And that was with Yao getting injured and bleeding out over the course of, what, 40 seconds? That could have been a much easier round victory if one small detail had gone differently for Daystar, but they are still victorious. That's all that matters. 1 to 1.
Now they go to actually CCTV. It felt like that. Most of that last round felt like a CCTV cash room bomb site defense just because of how much presence we saw from Daystar over on that extension. But now Orchid, they've had their practice. Now they have to go at it again. And hopefully for their sake, they'll have a little bit more success because Lycola shouldn't be dying to that Jaeger. Ideally, we need... The big thing is the Blackbeard is the one with the grenades, right? but he's not in a position to use those grenades, because if you want to be the one throwing grenades up at the Jaeger, you need to be standing directly below him at bottom garage, which means there's so many other things you have to worry about, like getting flanked from lounge. And of course, you need to burn all of the ADSs before you throw those nades. Each one of those Jaeger's ADSs will catch one gadget before it recharges.
Yeah. And that's also with the Wamai ban. Imagine they had doubled down with both the Jaeger and the Wamai. I mean, this would be completely impossible to attack directly head on. So they've given themselves a chance now with the Wamai being removed. Same with the Kaid. But Daystar, it also means they got all the strong operators available. Like the Asami is gonna live on. They got the Echo as a counter pick right now as well. A shield counter, if you will, a bit of information. But like Collis has to be careful. If there are no Echoes on the board, they just can't overstep and go to challenge those defenders too aggressively.
I want to see how active Daystar here are on the defense. Trap from Yao, triggered by Lycolis, baited out. BG Man's just waiting for the swing to come through. Ooh. Does manage to catch Yao on the retreat. Early pick here for Orchid. Get off your camera, Critche. There's a player right above you. Oh, this is so unfortunate. Critche was on his drone that whole time and completely sold Lycolis. That's poor timing there for Orchid. Gives Daystar a way back into it.
A bit unlucky, yeah. I mean, a bit of a chaotic round again between these two teams. It's not a usual clubhouse. It hasn't been a usual chalet or cafe. A lot of just individual plays looking to disrupt on both the defense and the attack, rather than those 3-2-1 style executes. 60 seconds to go, and we are all over the place. We're downstairs in bar still. We're somewhat looking towards master bedroom. The defenders now, I think, from Daystar have all said, okay, we don't care about the roam. We'll hold Garrett to run player. People can watch towards the bomb site. Make Orchid burn down that timer second by second. We have an Echo. But there's no C4. There's no more toxic babes. So outside of Echo stopping the plant momentarily, they have no other way of dealing with it, but
nice.
BG Man dies.
Yeah, I don't know how BG Man dies, but thankfully Exotic is able to find one back, especially because it is the smoke. It's a lot of util now burned away. Speaking of burning, the fire used by Peeps to try and flush these players from Daystar into Critche's lines of sight, but Souffle actually lashes out aggressively through the breach and finds one at the same time. Azuki goes for a run out and finds his. Now Critche is in a 1v2 Pika, comes up from behind him, vaults over the banister and takes him down. A dominant round from Daystar on a cash defense. And it's back to the drawing board for Team Orchid.
Do you ban the Jaeger here? Is there actually
genuinely, I'm just disappointed that Orchid even ignored that Rafters hold. Surely they could have gone back to it. I mean, Capitao is not banned.
I'm curious. Could be a Capitao and a Jaeger ban, to be honest, with how things have been playing out so far. If you're expecting it, especially.
Wow, Capitao, you're right about that.
Capitao ban. Okay. I mean, so now they get to double dip in a way, right? You ban the Capitao and they ban the Bandit. So now they have no Capitao, you keep the Jaeger and the Asami. That's going to make Rafters so easy to hold on paper compared to the usual norm here in Clubhouse.
You know, another thing that you could do without banning that Jaeger is play the Thatcher instead, and you'll be able to see exactly where those ADSs are using the EMP scanner, and then just detonate and deactivate them all at once at the same time. You deactivate those ADSs and throw one nade over, even if the player playing there dodges the nade, that nade will then destroy all of those ADSs. And you'll be free to throw any more flashbangs and nades afterwards. Of course, we're not going to have to worry about that for now because we're going down to the basement, but I really think Thatcher is an underrated pick here for Rafters clears.
No, it's a good point, actually, and it kind of goes into a mini-game of Siege then, because if you play the Jaeger and you're uncontested, you know, no Thatcher, no direct counterplay, you stack them maybe, but then because you put them so close together, now they play the Thatcher, they EMP all the 3 ADSs. Well, the next round, you know they have a Thatcher now, you space those ADSs quite broadly around the area, so like let's say you play Catwalk Rafters, you don't stack them all in the same corner. You put them Catwalk 1, Catwalk 2, 90, and while the defender does have to move around a little bit more to get that protection, it counters the Thatcher a little bit. So there could be an interesting back and forth here later on. We'll have to see. It's more relevant on CCTV and gym defense because that's where you play catwalk rafters, typically speaking. For now, we're going to be enjoying the beautiful Fuse Shield gameplay from Lycolis.
Huzzah.
Clubhouse is one of the few maps where it does have some value, maybe same as Bank. You can do it on the soft floor, on hatches or reinforced walls. Often pop gadgets like your Goyo canisters or a bit of util like the Nari lasers if they're in the right locations, etc.
We saw him
and
try it on
at his shield to
Cafe.
drop down the hatch and go for a plant. Yeah, true, he did.
Not that it was successful, but yeah, I mean, the big thing is, like you say, using that shield to drop down the hatch.
Yeah, you can half reach as well.
Yeah, of course. No, it's not a bad combo. I mean, we got the triple tin can openers here from Orchid, Zoph, Grim, Fuse, each one bringing their own really valuable primary gadget, and then those secondary tin can openers to make sure they can breach as many of these hatches as they want. And I really like this pick as well. This Fuse charge will destroy all of the utility underneath this hatch. Critically, those Denari lasers. As I say that, it actually doesn't destroy it. The funny thing is, if Lycolis had actually placed that Fuse charge on a 90-degree angle, I think it would have destroyed some of those, because the way a Fuse charge detonates is it creates a horizontal line from right to left. Am I right? Is there still a Roma? No, I read that wrong. Sorry, I thought there was a player in script for a sec.
Sadly, he opened the hatch, so he can't go for it again. So, motor not to be, maybe. Lycolis taking a lot of damage. Asuki doesn't know it, but instead of aiming for the heartbeat's destruction, you can just aim for Lycolis' feet and he'll die. If Fuse starts to go out while the Voice Divert, this could get them a kill.
It could. Here comes the second Fuse charge. He tries to run away. Critche finds Azuki. And eventually the hatch will be opened as well. But Orchid have to be careful. Lycolis is still very low HP. Even a single bullet to the foot and the shield will be down.
I'm changing mags.
Still, though, a tough position to be in. Just one shot onto Lycolis' Fuse and he will get injured. But there's so much intel. They see two players inside a church. They can have Lycolis' shield. Probably see a third player by AAKs or third box. Because they have numbers advantage, they can attack from blue, main stairs, and the kitchen hatch all at the same time.
Peeps can continue getting information here. Lycolis is actually going to try and move down main stairs. I think he's going to try and go through the rotate that they made, but unfortunately for him, he gets shot in the feet, and he was already low HP. Seal has gone double down at bottom main, and now Orchid have to run for the hills, desperately trying to drop into the site. Critche will find one, but he's traded one back. Seal has been dominant in this round. BG Man has nothing to say about it. It's a 4K from Seal, and Daystar make the world tour 3 rounds in a row on defense.
Oh, one of those small decisions on Clubhouse that are so hard, right? Do you drop the hatch? Do you walk down bottom main? What kind of attack do you go for? And when you have a shield on very low HP, I feel like you should take the path of least resistance, like where you're not going to get body shot as commonly. Walking down a staircase is where you're going to be the most vulnerable. Your feet are sticking out. You can be pushed from both the motor door, the breach, and the long corridor itself, because there was a reinforcement at the end where the Isami was playing. So in this moment that Lycolis dies, that's the plant gone. Now you got to get maybe 2 kills in response, then the round is back alive, but they don't. So they can't go for plant, they lose all their bodies, last man is stuck upstairs, force a drop with everybody watching. That does not lead to a round victory. And now, my theory was that Daystar was going to be quite strong on their own attack inside when they get there. So this 3-1 position that Daystar are in now is looking mighty fine to go into that grand final.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
We talk about it all the time. If you come through that lower bracket and you have to play back-to-back games from the lower final into the grand final, is that an advantage that you've had a chance to warm up, or is it a disadvantage that you're fatigued? And to be honest, I think what really matters more is how you get there, how you win that game. If Daystar build up that momentum, and despite losing in 15 rounds on the first map, despite Orchid giving them a real run for their money, if Daystar come through on Clubhouse, I really do think that they will have the best chance that they've had, perhaps ever, at taking down Weibo. But it will take some mighty bravery and talent to slay the Dragon of Asia. And I'm not sure if either of these two teams are ready for it.
I mean, I guess the benefit here with the bandit ban is that the wall's going to get popped immediately. Nothing can stop you. Now, there is a world you can do like the two-brow mirror window tricking, but that's not been the case for this one. It's very effective against the thermite charges and just slowing down the attackers. We're seeing all the silhouettes here that are blue just sprinting back towards the bottom side, playing out of construction, office, and gym. This means that Daystar with 5 defenders in close proximity are going to feel very squished together. And it makes it very uncomfortable in the server because you got to worry about all the angles from the windows outside. The pre-stack will open up eventually. We're probably going to see somebody go downstairs and bar, maybe go for a flank later on because we don't have that many strong spots on the side itself. You have bathroom and office, maybe a guy playing by that master bigger mattress. That's it.
These mirror windows are going to be a real pain to clear, however. Good job taking out that barbed wire. Yeah, oh, I guess they ashed it. Just deleted from the server with the ash. I like the ash pick, very uncommon these days. We don't often see ash, but very powerful against those mirror windows. There is a player all the way down in oil pit. It's the Ella of Pika, keen for a flank late in the round. Yao, though, is picked off. Orchid have a gaping hole on that bomb site. They've nullified the mirror windows, and they're eager to make and execute happen. The question is, what will be achieved by Pika on for that flank? He needs to move now. As his bomb site players are falling, it's only Azuki now left on the bomb side. Pika finds one from his flank, and Azuki supports as well. Now Orchid back on the back foot, but BG Man finds his nice shot from Pika. 1v2, so winnable here. Critche has to force that plant down. Pika's on low HP. As Grismot does not find its target, does not find the player planting. However, his spray will take down BG. It's a 1v1 Critche. You've got the best damn weapon in the game and you only need to land a single bullet. And he does so! Orchid, a much needed round, shuts down Pika's heroics and gets themselves a second attack on the board.
So close, and that's a flank, by the way, from all the way downstairs into garage, into CCTV, and he was actually figured out very early on. The first kill that Pika got was in CC on the outside balcony towards the master bedroom or gym window. They had 3 different people just watching that single door he was pushing from. He took down every single member. Good use of the final Grismod, taking away the game sound from the attackers, rotating to office to get a new angle. But that clutch, unfortunately, was not meant to be. Sadly, all his teammates died before the flank came to life, because this right here, when he gets the first kill, that's causing that chaos in the server. And maybe during that chaos, if the other defenders were alive, they can start taking some fights, swing into construction, fight by the windows, and something can happen. But when the flanker becomes the last defender alive, it means that the side didn't hold for long enough, or that the flanker didn't flank fast enough. But Pika had to be cautious, because if he died first trying to flank, then the round is over for sure.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm really impressed by the way Orchid really picked apart that defense. There were a lot of different layers to it from Daystar, but look, I don't often love seeing both a Bandit and Kaid band teamed up together. I know you often talk about the diminishing returns of double dipping on the same class of band, the same archetype, but it really did work for Orchid because it allowed them to abuse the Thermite and the Ace together. And sometimes you just gotta play it like it's year one. Open up walls, expose defenders, and then the kills will come. That's exactly what Orchid did. They opened up the walls, they countered the mirror windows, and sometimes you just gotta keep it simple, stupid. You pick hard breaches, you pick the Ash to counter the mirror, and in this case, Daystar, they themselves are looking to make things complicated. Unfortunately though, they cannot get that mirror window quite high enough to counter that exothermic charge, and as such, the mirror trick will not land.
Unlucky. Didn't even have impacts on an operator on the map to then open the mirror window, toss an impact and deny it further. And is it worth using a C4 for that? Maybe, maybe not. The issue is, if you throw a C4, the 2-bar freeze also EMPs that explosive device, so you would need the impact grenades. That means that a big play for this round to try and deny that breaching has been stopped immediately. So Daystar already starting on the back foot with a little bit less util in pocket. Only one active mirror window now can be seen through. We have Crit J looking down, or looking up rather, Jim Hatcher downstairs, fishing for a kill. There's a mutant plane. If you're standing on a jammer, you'll not get tracked by the Deimos, but if you're on that roam game, you probably don't have one. So he tracks the mute himself, who's in construction. He'll be safe for the time being.
I gotta say, man, I'm such a simp for Thermite these days. 3 exothermic charges with Bandit and Kaid ban. It's free real estate for BG. However, Critche goes down. BG actually has a chance to find a kill here as well. If he sprays at the right time, tiny bit of damage onto Azuki. That tells the Jaeger, time to get out of there. You see how cautious Orchid are of rats in the rafters, worrying about players hiding in corners as they go for these clears. Final round of the half here, Pengu. Orchid looking to try and tie the scoreline.
They have a problem. They've spent all their exothermic charge. So, I mean, they have Selma as a backup, but if that breach isn't perfect, then they can't get in and they can't go for a plan. So once the 2-bar freeze is over, we gotta keep an eye on Peeps here. Can he open up the wall successfully? It cannot be a vault angle. This right here is a vault angle. Just gotta use the very final Selma charge on the very bottom part of it to make it a plant spot.
And there's still a mirror window to deal with as
It's
well.
not gonna do it.
No, I have a very bad feeling about this round here for Orchid. Nitro Cell, though, gets tanked. Lycolis low on HP, but he does survive. Critically, that gives a chance here for Orchid, but they will have to be aggressive and erupt into the bomb site when they go for this plan. BG Man on for the backside, Pete finds his kill. And now a second as BG Man goes deep and aggressive from the breach. Pika will trade him on back, but two of these Daystar defenders are all the way up on rafters, unable to deny the plant, but Pika will still land the shots to take down Peeps into the post. It's a 2v2. Both of these teams fighting tooth and nail as we look down the barrel of the end of this half. Exolotic and Lycolis fall back to post-plan positions. Pika, so deadly with that DMR, slowly makes his way forward. Azuki to support. A quick shoulder peek here as the crossfire is maintained. Exolotic to find one. It's a quad kill for Pika as he goes deeper, but Lycolis says not today. A third round found at the end of the half from Team Orchid.
Once again, we find ourselves talking about how impactful the last round will be in an overall series that is close, Jake. I mean, it's, you know, it really is on a nice edge. I know we love to say the 50-50 game, but Jake, I tell you what, they are really digging in when it matters.
They certainly did. And again, another situation where once Daystar got out to that 3-1 lead, and it's probably fortunate for Orchid that they were able to win that opening round, because if they don't win that opening round, they would have been in a bit of a strife. 3 straight for Daystar. They looked pretty comfortable then on the defense, and I thought they were going to get at least a 4. And 4-2, I know that we usually say in club, that's about even. That's where you want to be. But in this kind of matchup, I think that would have been much better for Daystar than Orchid to get it to 3-3. Now it's inverse. This is good. Orchid go defense. We know they can certainly defend in the second half. And the fact that it came down to a 1v1, Pika almost getting that ace, that was pretty critical. That round may be map defining and therefore series defining.
Oh, it could be massive for them, and I think that a lot of the woes that we were talking about in terms of individual plays, guys, kind of washes away when things go as well as they do for Team Orchid. There's been multiple rounds here that I think they've won purely based off those mini-games that we talk about so frequently.
Yeah, it's been the mini-games, and it's been the fact that it's been a pretty well-rounded team effort. It was a big talking point, especially from the Team Orchid perspective. If this was going to be just a 2-man effort, could BG Man get in on the action? And funnily enough, he's actually top fragging at the moment.
Popping off.
Crit J Peeps, and even like Lycolis, who was also impactful in that really important critical last round there, where he stayed alive on the black bit. He's been really good. So in terms of that well-rounded performance from Orchid that we needed to see for them to be successful, that's exactly what we're getting. And I'm getting a little bit nervous for my prediction now. Not just because I'll be wrong, but because Jake might now be right.
Well, I mean, they've dominated the opening kills. They've gotten 2 plants. They've obviously gotten 2 out of the 3 clutches. There's a lot that they did right in a clubhouse half.
The Jabba the Hutt's coming back out.
on their attack. Like I said, Orchid before the game, I feel more confident now. So that's a good sign for them. It's not a guarantee, and we know Daystar will be more than capable on their own attack. But if you had have said pre-match 3-3 at the half, and now Orchid go defense, guys, I think you probably would have maybe changed your opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been really impressed from the team play perspective that we've seen from them. That's exactly what's super critical. On defense as well, of course, but especially on attack when you're trying to be the ones to dictate tempo and you are the underdog in the matchup. So they've put themselves in a really strong position. In terms of the bans that have played out here for the second half, so Kaid and Mira suggest that we could even see Bandit to round things out, and it'll be full wall denial from the side of Daystar, and then Orchid electing to take Shield and Grim off the board. Does though mean that the Capital's in play, and also I guess circling back to the defense, it means that the Wamai is going to be available, and That's a sentence I didn't think I'd be saying this year in terms of it being notable, but especially on a map like Club with those key checkpoints to list and some of the power positions, whether it be like basement AKs or top floor bathroom, top floor rafters, etc., where the Wamai could be really strong. Having that available is going to be quite impactful for this match.
And the Thunderbird makes it through as well.
Oh, how? How on earth has it happened?
Didn't think I'd be saying that sentence.
Never thought I would ever say a sentence like
Does this guy get paid?
Unfortunately so. Actually, in fact, the exact same you do.
Who do you think, Rob?
Look, I want to say that if Team Orchid can stop Daystar with their small runs that they've had, if you look at the way Daystar have played, they've played with a lot of momentum. When they win rounds, they win a lot of rounds. And I think if Team Orchid can keep them on their back foot, if they can utilise the Wamai, it could be good.
You know who else has got a lot of momentum?
Oh,
that doesn't matter. Over to James and Nick. Bring it home, boys.
Thanks, Jake. Look, if there's one thing I want to talk about, it's not the Thunderbird. It's nothing that those guys were yapping about on the desk. It's the fact that we might actually get to see a little bit of Wamai here. Not in the first round, but he has escaped the operator veto unscathed.
Yeah, that was the exact same thing. And is this Daystar saying, Orchid, you don't know balls. You didn't play the operator if we allowed you to try it. They showed how much damage they could do with Jaeger, but neither up for this one, for the first defense. Now, I said before that I think Daystar on the attack, they have a very big advantage. They're strong at executing and setting up their attacks very effectively, which is what Clubhouse is all about. What Orchid can do is play the game of disruption, right? They play aggressive, they play roamy, they try and go for kills. Look at the attacking lineup. If you take down any attacker but lose yourself in the process, it's a worthwhile trade. It's either going to be about the hard destruction or an important util operator or the only self-destroyer. So it does not matter if Critchie is deep roaming the Nauri and he dies, as long as he kills somebody from Daystar and take him with him.
Well, it's roam clear time here for Daystar, and Yao is the tip of that spear. Critchie may be on the receiving end eventually. He's using this Denari adaptively mid-round. Gets spotted. He's reasonably safe in this position for now. If the Blackbeard tried to hunt him, he would always, of course, have the support of that gas pipe to detonate, buy him a little bit of time to escape. But it looks like Daystar is actually rotating. I see multiple players running towards exterior dirt tunnel. Is this going to be a Glaz Blackbeard push close to the site? This isn't going to work, I don't think. There's a Goyo.
They might have overcommitted.
There's a Goyo canister on the door into dirt from site. So once they pop that barricade, as they now know, they're going to be kept at bay for 20 seconds.
Okay, so where they're going to full shift it just straight into the bomb site and be countered. Maybe they thought the roam game was a lot bigger than it actually is. It's just going to be two people, Peeps and Bar, and Critchie on top floor, Curran inside of logistics office.
Oh,
so there's three guys by the side.
Oh my god!
Then Impact gets punished with the Reaper as well, and they're inside of blue now, and they got dirt tunnel pressure. Critchie good for one on the flank though. Chaos in the server.
Yeah, it's a huge shot from Azuki. However, a nuclear nitro on the bomb site from Lycolis. Both of the final players from Daystar pushing from blue, and Critchie puts a stop to the first. Peeked, now the last one standing. AR-33 in hand, good flash, but peeked directly into it. It's BG Man, a reprisal as Orchid take the lead.
And it's beautiful aggression. The bar flank is unsuccessful, where Critchie will then get a kill elsewhere instead on the main stairs. So, again, different win conditions for Team Orchid. Is also why Goyo is such a strong operator, right? You can put down the Goyo canisters in prep phase, start roaming, play a bit more on the offense, and then the anchors still have a chance to pop the Goyo fire, stall for 20 seconds until backup arrives. It looked very much like Orchid were just happy to take the fights. It wasn't going to be about the plant denial. It wasn't going to be about the late round execute. It's going to be about who can go for that opening pick and who can disrupt the other from achieving their goal.
That nuke of a nitro as well. Massive. Great way to counter the Glaz. People forget sometimes.
Yeah.
So many different ways to get rid of a Glaz, and a C4 is often one of them. If you see that smoke, you often know he's peeking through it. So good start to the Orchid defense. That makes 3 rounds in a row, by the way. They came back from a 3-1 deficit here now to take the lead. Can they further it? Gym Bedroom up on the menu, and guess who's back? It's Wamai. Critchie finally showing us this newly buffed operator. So remind me, Pengu, exactly how was Wamai buffed in the recent mid-season patch? What?
Okay, so...
What?
Oh, firebug. Wait.
What?
Interesting. So I think there's a
I've
bug
never
where
seen that
if
before.
you pop the gas... I've never seen it, but I've heard about it. It's very much where you just burn to death, and I think it's based off the explosive canister maybe that's inside a connector. But I guess because it's time to really deep into what my...
Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, we're trolling.
All right.
So essentially, Wamai's recharge rate has been halved. So it took 40 seconds per Wamai disc. Now it takes 20 seconds per
Wow,
Wamai
that's
disc.
so quick.
This means when the drone phase is over, you start with 2 in pocket. You'll get like all of them at the halfway point or whatever. Instead of capping out at 6 magnets, you cap out at 7. So you get 1 extra as well. And the activation timer has gone from 1.5 seconds to 0.5 seconds. And the activation timer is when you toss it down on any surface, it's gonna have the kind of white ring. And when it fully expands, that's when it's now active. That's when it can catch something actively. And before it being 1.5 seconds, you couldn't react to a flashbang or grenade mid-air when you see it coming in. It would take too long before it would explode. But now it's 0.5 seconds, you can see a grenade. Toss that magnet on the ground, it's gonna catch the grenade. And whenever Almighty catches something, it's going to reset the fuse timer on that grenade or flash. So it can save you, it can redirect the smoke, the flash, the grenade, whatever, and it can honestly change a lot about those play to die positions that we've seen over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, wowee.
Oh, and it's got C4 and double shield. So he's got a ton of util as well.
I love this.
Yeah,
I love
that
this.
too.
Like, we don't just buff a little bit these days. We're just like, you know
Oh,
what?
he got a shotgun. The patch before that.
Yeah, true. Let's not just do one little thing. Let's just go crazy. Like when Thorn got buffed, it's like, let's give her another gadget. Oh, let's also make it so that the damage is changed. And let's also make it so we have this whole limping effect as well. It's just, yeah, you gotta go crazy. So, look, we said before that we want the meta to change every few months, and I'm wholeheartedly in agreement with that. I want to see operators getting buffed. I want to see operators getting nerfed as well. That's maybe a bit more of a controversial take. People don't love to see their favorite operators get nerfed, but people have to realize as well, if everything is constantly getting buffed, that means that whoever hasn't gotten buffed recently is getting a relative nerf. Just something to keep in mind. You look at some operators that haven't been changed for a long time, but are still like losing their power just because they haven't been buffed in the same level as all these other operators. With Sledge, for example, Buck, for example.
Buff my homie Sledge. I was literally gonna say, yeah. That's crazy.
I think we just need a Thor hammer throw.
Beauty.
That'll be a good buff.
Yeah, like a ranged mechanic Sledge there. I think there's a lot of beauty in the year 1 operators. You think of like Frost, Valkyrie, Sledge, Bug, Pulse, Castle, like almost every single one. They are so simple in nature, but they work so well.
Yeah.
Of course, there are some ups like Sledge and Frost where they're just much stronger versions of them. You know, Bug and Ram for Sledge and pretty much any other trap operator for Frost. But I think that simple design has just been such an enjoyable and logical thing to play around with over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And if you started playing the game on release, that's what you had to work with. Look at today, Denari, super cool operator, don't get me wrong, but understanding how he works and getting max value off the gadget requires custom game research or looking up guides online because like certain laser connections and max range and lines of sight and whatnot. It has just made the game more beautiful in some ways and more tricky in others. And if you're a long-term fan, I think it's incredible. But if you're a new first-time player, you're just going to be overwhelmed a little bit by it.
For sure. I mean, look, I didn't even play the game from launch. I actually started playing during Skull Rain when Capitao and Kavera had just come out. And even for me, like, you know, I often think, what would it be like if I just joined the game right now and we've got, what, 75 plus operators in the game and we have so many different archetypes.
I want to say 78, let me check.
I'd be impressed if you remember the exact number. So many different... 77, wow. I'm impressed you got it that close. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much to learn, right? And if you started from scratch right now, you're learning all those operators from zero. Like, I played other games with lots of different characters, and I just give up because it's so complicated. I'm lucky that I was there from when we only had like 24 operators back in the day. So got to learn them as they come out one by one. But even now, it's hard to remember. Like, look, if you ask me what secondary gadgets Doc has, I probably wouldn't remember because I never play that operator these days, and it keeps changing.
Oh.
I'm gonna say barbed wire bulletproof is what I was thinking. Yeah.
No.
But Rook has a C4 now, right?
Yeah, I used to play Doc a lot. Rook has a C4 and the Reaper as well.
It's so weird.
So that's, yeah, that, like when Sledge lost the SMG-11 or when Mute was given the SMG-11, those were like lore-defining, like, yeah, game-defining things, the lore of the operator. I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna play Sledge and play SMG-11. Oh, you can't anymore. Jaeger ACOG, SMG-11 had an ACOG.
Dude,
if you go far enough back.
double ACOG SMG-11 in year one. I remember that. Yeah. That was so much fun.
Ridiculous. There's a lot of shift and changes. Now we got the DMR meta a bit here. Is the only defender weapons that has an ACOG scope is going to be, well, a Slug, Shotgun, and TCSG and Kai that is technically a DMR, if you will, that has an ACOG scope. Whereas the attackers all get them. But it has caused a sort of DMR meta that we see quite frequently. On operators here like the Capital, which also, that's a new primary DMR weapon that was added this year, actually.
Yeah, very true.
So, a lot of changes. But it's going to be Capital and Deimos. So we're definitely on the line rocking the DMRs, and the rest of the squad just going for the ARs.
Oh, wow. Lycolis just misses his chance there as he lashes out. Yao is behind him. Exalotic is trying to hold a crossfire fairly passively, but I think Lycolis has decided it's about time to leave. A good moment to do so as well. Jumping inside, it's Souffle who finds a kill with that new DMR.
There's a second player.
Yeah, there is a second player, but guess who's hunting him down? It's Yao with the Blitz. My God, the explosions from the Flores drones keep forcing Orchid back. Critche low HP, trying to protect himself with those Wamai magnets as much as he possibly can, but it'll only help against the flashes. He needs to come and support his teammate as well. Out goes a magnet. He has no idea where is safe to stand.
The reset then. Daystar don't want to make any mistakes right now. They got what they wanted.
Oh, good nitro.
Mad advantage. They're by the bomb site. C4 is good, but doesn't find a kill.
Exalotic trying with the shotgun to find an angle onto the feed. A lot of damage, but Yao still finds him with the pistol. Now Azuki has come in to support. Orchid are falling apart, but Pix won his gunfight. Azuki finds the gap, and in office, Daystar will go. BG Man, his position revealed. He has no keeper barriers to hide behind, and is about to get stabbed in the back or shot in the head. Souffle is the final nail in the coffin for Orchid as Daystar continue to overwhelm this defense.
Beautiful push, working the windows, the breach, and just getting that 3, 2, 1 together. That's what Daystar are so good at. If they can get into that position, the round should pretty much be guaranteed theirs. But it all lingers on that opening pick. If Orchid are going to get the extension or get the roam and they get the first kill, they can play that same game of, hey, you can't execute. So I think a lot of it will come down to that. And so we're going to keep seeing the shields from them most likely one way or another because it helps you in that opening duel. Other operators that are good at that are going to be stuff like your Deimos, your Solid Snake that can get a bit of information. Because if you get into that 5v4, it makes the rest of the round that much easier. Now we're going to see CCTV, not with the Jaeger, but with the Wamai action from BG Man, with the Asami as well. I'm very curious if they're going to be using the magnets in the prep phase right now, just kind of slapping them about, or if they're going to try and keep some in pocket to reactively use them when they see that grenade coming, when they see if it's actually going to be a catwalk attack, or if they're going to just go for a master pitch and push instead.
Yeah, good question.
10 seconds to go.
One thing I've noticed that we haven't seen out of Daystar so far is the repick onto the Capital. It's actually the Twitch. I wonder if that Twitch is specifically to counter the Wamai. Must be. But really, I mean, it's once you clear out all those magnets, you've only got 2 sets of flashes and 1 set of nades. That's really not a lot to try and hard clear that Wamai.
The keeper barrier is activated.
Oh, sorry, 2 sets of nades.
Excellent glass round.
Didn't see the striker.
Oh yeah, a striker always throws me off because when you look for a grenade, you look at the bottom.
Exactly.
You go,
don't look at the primary gadget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is striker can choose what's the primary, what's the secondary. So some strikers do have secondary grenades.
Yeah.
But some have primary grenades. So it's very tricky at times.
I love striker. One of my favorite operators.
It's a fun concept to recruits.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's the fact you can mix match any secondary utility, but you have no actual primary gadget, and you have a selected choice of like weaponry as well.
Yeah, I think Striker is actually one of the best ranked solo queue operators, by the way, guys. If you're solo queuing out there, you can bring EMPs and tin can openers. You can bring flashes and nades, or in this case, the EMPs to help if it was needed to clear out any mute jammers or bandit batteries. I guess we have no Kaid because it's banned, but you still got the nades to support with the execute onto the site. I tell you what though, Daystar don't seem to be focusing up too much on going for a Rafters take. They've actually poised very early on and already lost a player. Crit Chase dealt so much damage and killed Yao. Terrible start for Daystar, though they do manage to recompose and finish off Crit Chase. Damage is done.
1-for-1 trade is worth it though.
Whoa.
Shield is so low, so play is dead from the garage door around from VG Man as well. Again, Orchid playing that game of disruption, not allowing him to go for execute.
Yeah, continue to get up in Daystar's face. Souffle low HP, vulnerable to the fire from the Goyo and the smoke of the smoke himself. Seems like Peak is also vulnerable to Peeps with that Vector. Desperately now, Daystar need to go deep. 2 players inside the building. Peeps looks for number 2, going for number 3. He finds all of them. Orchid continue battling back and forth. They take the lead again.
Complete chaos in the server. All the fire and smoke, toxic babes, the Blackbeard is dead, no intel for the attack. And that's a CCTV. And this is the strength of operators like your Omai and your Jaeger. You can dictate what push the enemy is going for. A lot of teams in Tier 1 play, they will see the Asami Omai and go, let's not bother with Garage. It is not worth the effort. It's way too challenging. Let's go for Master Bedroom. But because you're playing the Omai and the Asami, that's Omai Ben immediately out. They got 2 rounds with it. Because that you're playing the Omai Asami yourself, you know there's a very high chance that they're going to go for a Master Bedroom attack, which means you can send more bodies, more reinforcements, maybe more utility in terms of like the Goyo Fire and such. And because Homai has a throwable gadget, unlike Jaeger who has to put it down like a mute like where you're standing, you don't have to use the magnets in prep phase. Like I said, you can keep them in pocket. When you see they're going for Garage, then you toss them out to help the Asami on Rafters. And if they don't go for Garage, which they didn't, you can now just turn around and throw them inside a CCTV instead. So it's such a strong way of flipping the defense in the middle of the round, but it's only really Wamai that allows you to do that. That's now been bent away, like we said. That kind of strategy is now going to be used up. So if you want to play the Jaeger, you got to commit them in the prep phase, and that's going to make that rotation of this utility a lot harder for Orchid.
Yeah, not impossible. We've seen teams juggle their ADSs before, but not in the current meta. The current meta is far too fast-paced for most teams to get away with doing things like that. But now that Daystar have banned out that Wamai, it does open up a lot more opportunities. No Jaeger brought to the table, of course, a very different bomb site down in the basement. Orchid very much won this on the roam game last time. Daystar started by going for a roam clear and pivoted to going for not quite a rush, but a hard hit, mostly through dirt and blue. Orchid was so ready for that, though, and I think they'll be ready for it again. You look at the number of traps brought to the table, the amount of time delay here for Orchid. It'll be very hard for Daystar. Also, little note here, Critche being the roamer on the Denari. Unusual that he's using all of his Denari lasers for the roam, but because he's got that secondary slug shotgun, he can make himself a lot of rotates and hatches and escape routes mid-round as well. He's supported by Peeps at the moment, who still has tons of his util with him. That'll be especially useful up against that Blackbeard. Oh, hello. Goodbye.
That's awkward.
No, that's Orchid.
Just like that. We're gonna have Peek in the grave. Okay. Orchid striking first.
Critche is gonna hold on for a little bit longer. He's got so many gadgets in pocket. Oh, he gets dashed by the Blackbeard.
Oh, trade.
Yao takes him back, takes him down, and with that, Daystar dominate on the roam. Orchid might have found their freebie against Pika, but I think it is time to cut their losses and fall back to the bomb site.
Oh. It's still playable in a 4v4, but if one more player dies from Orchid, then that's gonna change a lot. You're gonna have to Goyo Fire elements that can lock down certain entries that give you information if you were to push it. That can orient your guns on like where to aim them at. On the flip side, they still have a singular Selma charge left available. That can be used in the bottom main triple wall, for example, while Suki and Sophia can get the last few hatches with the secondary can openers. So Daystar very much look primed for an attack, and here's Seal on that ace.
Oh, wow.
Walking down the main staircase.
Wow.
Looking to get, there's no way that you take down the Blackbeard from the third tunnel wall into the main stairs window with 60 seconds to go. That's your planter. That's the diffuser carrier. That's going to be the way you win.
It's also with the SMG-11, by the way, against his shield. I don't know if Yao was vaulting out the window or whether he was just caught with his pants down inside the hallway. Regardless, big kill for Orchid. However, Peeps immediately throws away that advantage. Thankfully, Exalotic is able to trade after Seal does go a little bit too deep, a little bit too early there. Daystar had a chance, and unfortunately for Peeps, he's thrown it away. Here comes the fire, though. Might slow Daystar down a bit. Orchid do not need to swing this. Two players on the same angle. Azuki's now opened up another avenue into the bomb site, and he wants to peek for info here. Out goes the concussion. But remember, all the way back of the bomb site, Orchid still have... No, they don't. BG Man's fallen. He's been backstabbed from blue. This is a good shot for Daystar now into the 2v2. Another beautiful angle from Azuki. 1v2 for Exalotic. He doesn't have a Nitro Cell or any util whatsoever, but he's denied the plan. So close. But the defuse goes down, and Souffle pre-fires him. Daystar had no right. No right whatsoever. But they continue piling onto Team Orchid, and we cannot separate these two teams. To find our second grand finalist, we will need to go further. 5 rounds each on the final map here in our lower bracket final.
So the frustration there from Yao and the sigh of relief when his team won the round, thinking, oh my god, they did it. I'm so sorry that I messed up, because he was gonna be the one to win the round for them. This plant spot, excellently found there from Daystar, avoiding the Goyo fire, using that pillar as a way of blocking the bullets. I mean, I would argue that Orchid were a little bit too happy to go for those gunfights and overswing. They had 2 defenders willingly taking the fight. Then they had Exalotic hiding in the corner, proning on the floor, doing the complete opposite. So it's a mismatch in how they want to play out that man advantage round. We all know that Daystar have no business planting in a 1 versus 2, or technically it's a 2v2, but with the guy planting it becomes a 1 versus 2. But yet they fully let them, and it did not have that teamwork. I don't know if that's Orchid feeling a bit of exhaustion, if it's just the nerves getting to them, a lack of communication, but they have to sort it right now on 5-5, because if that continues, Daystar can keep stealing rounds.
And we're at the point in the series where you've had Cafe separated by 1 round, 8-7. Chalet separated by 2 rounds, 7-5. Now on to Clubhouse, 5 rounds apiece. These teams are so neck and neck that, yeah, one individual mistake, one tiny misplayed 3v2, and the rounds are over. You're losing your games, and therefore you're losing your spot in your grand final. You're losing your shot at the Esports World Cup. And this is only the beginning of what could be a very long day if either of these teams are to hold a candle to Weibo in the grand final. I cannot imagine it happening in a 2-mapper. That will have to be a long series, long and arduous one after a very long and arduous day. Between these two teams, it's already been a mammoth of a series. And for the winner, there's another one to follow.
Yeah. And it's going to be against a much stronger foe, one has to say, right against Weibo Gaming.
My God,
so it feels like the reward is going to be, oh my days.
From Dirt Tunnel as well.
It is going to be the counter.
A cheeky little white collars.
2 rounds in a row.
Oh man, he is...
It's the mini-games, man.
He loves it. I can't believe he goes back for more. After doing it with the SMG-11 last round against Yao, Azuki falls for the same little trap.
So what now? I mean, losing the ace here, not the end of the world, but again, just starting off on the back foot is not ideal. Yao on 1 point of HP on the Blackbeard, so inflicting damage as well on the Capitao. This attack is getting, honestly, completely stopped.
Yao's not having a good time, low HP. Little opportunity spotted there from BG. A gap around the keeper barrier. He finds that kill. How much more time can he survive on 1 HP? Peeps is just around the corner, but BG Man does not want to expose himself. He wants to force Daystar to make the first move, and I don't think he knows just how low that Blackbeard is. One shot anywhere on the body, and Blackbeard will go down. The same can be said for BG. He's found another one! Oh, I can't fucking believe it! How is BG Man own cash room like that? Team Orchid has series points, and they're on the verge of knocking Daystar out of the bracket.
He's dancing by the drone hole on a soft wall, almost no support in the server, swing to his right, the left. He tosses out a keeper barrier, is going to protect him. Wrong. It creates a tiny gap.
We're going
between
overtime. I'm just telling you right now, this is 15 rounds.
We have to. It's going to be just like the thing, bouncing back and forth.
Oh my god.
Take me to 7-7 already. Fast forward.
We have had so many overtimes in this stage finals.
Yeah, we have.
APL has been insane, bro.
Every sub-region has had multiple days with overtimes.
Wasn't yesterday
like
8-7, 8-7?
Obviously.
Yeah, that was 2 8-7s.
Yeah, 8-7, 8-7 in a best of 3. So, like, just going fully quickly, right? Chiefs' rival first game of bracket had an overtime in a 2-0 fashion. The game after, Chiefs EP had an overtime in a 7-5.
Oh my god.
EP and LFO did not have an overtime. Chiefs EP, 7-8, 7-8, like you said.
Yeah.
Rival EP did not have an overtime. Rival and LFO did not have an overtime. So half of stage finals was overtimes, basically.
And every single game in APAC
alone.
North has been a 3-mapper, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
And APAC North, you know,
yeah, really long distance.
You got the lower final and the grand final of that tomorrow. Here's a replay of BG Man's heroics in cash, and there's his reaction. Peeps is so goddamn stone cold today.
The finger guns,
like,
man.
Peeps has been all right, but I really haven't given him the credit that he deserves until today. He has been such a showman in the server and on his player reactions as well. Absolute legend. And for Orchid, this would be such an upset. Like, we haven't really had any huge upsets, I would say, as of yet in the APL Stage finals. Like, look, you could argue that Rival taking down Manilafo was a bit of an upset, but eventually they fell to EP in that lower final. You could argue that Kinotrope taking down Scars was a bit of an upset, but, you know, of course, their story's not finished yet. They've got D+ coming up tomorrow as well. Orchid to take down Daystar. Right when we thought Daystar were peaking, turning a new leaf with Yao. Daystar looked like the best version of themselves that we've seen all year. And that's a team that I'm talking about went to Paris 6 months ago for the 6th Invitational and then to Salt Lake City. And now they've lost their chance of getting a second spot for Asia because Weibo could not beat Enterprise in SLC. And now all of these teams in the sub-region must fight for just a single slot. And it looks like Orchid will be that team to try and slay the dragon in our grand final later today.
Look what they brought out as well. Like Colas on Clash. A very low picket operator for all these two teams, and honestly, I think in Asia overall. And what better time for that curveball than right here? After making life hard for Daystar, after stealing a couple of rounds, after almost causing the upset and being fully successful, Duke the nade, step forward, stun Yao on the blind who can't do a damn thing about it. Now, if you are a shield operator, you can put the shield on your back and just have the gun out. Then you're not gonna get guard broken and forced into a I can't do anything sort of animation. But you're also exposed if you don't have that shield like I mentioned. So they look elsewhere. On the verticality. Trying to break the soft floor. The only problem is they run out of can openers. They gotta get Seal over. There he is. The problem the hatch for him. Now there's no hatch denial. No impacts, no C4s, no nothing. So it should just be opened up. There it goes. Daystar have all the right tools. They're in a great position to execute. The big question mark is going to be like Colas on the Clash, because that is the one operator that they can't easily deal with.
And for Lycolas and BG Man and Critche, it has been 2 years since they last made it to the top 2 in Asia, when they lost the grand final to Bleed in Stage 1 of 2024 of the Asia League. Back then, they were 2 rounds away from being the champions. They get another shot at their old rivals. If they can lock in right now in this round. 30 seconds still to play as Daystar look for the opening kill, but cannot find Critche.
Oh my god.
And what is this from Lycolas? He's all the way outside the building.
I got the hatch,
He's
guys.
marched the way up. And he's making Daystar think twice about challenging Orchid. today. Lycola straight back up in the kitchen. He's marched his way up the dirt tunnel, and he's found the opening kill. 10 seconds to go, and Daystar have fumbled the bag. Orchid have climbed their way from the depths of APL all the way back to the top, but the plan is going down from Yao. The new kid looks to try and give a second hope for Daystar. But Orchid now must retake Lycolis up above and shut down. Azuki forced to 1v2, but he cannot find it. Orchid have a chance to slay the dragon in a grand final for the first time in 2 years. And Daystar are done for stage 1.
I said that's my peeps!
That is your peeps. Will the real peeps please stand up? And what did he do?
I mean, he kind of stood up. It wasn't his like greatest. It's not like he dropped 30 or anything. It was actually a bit more of a team effort, and what a result for Team Orchid. I think. Look, it's unfortunate for Daystar, absolutely, and what a series. 8-7, 7-5, 7-5. We got a banging lower bracket final. Team Orchid, they get a shot, and that's the way to really frame this. They get a chance, they get a shot at the Kings and the Dragon. Disappointing, clearly, for Daystar, who, you know, have come leaps and bounds over the last 6 to 12 months, but they're going to have to learn a little bit from this because the boys from Thai, well, they're into a grand final.
Yeah, they certainly are, and deservedly so. A very hard-fought 3-map series. Like, there's not a single round that's gone by that hasn't been fought closely at the very least. I think that you've really got to give props to Team Orchid on that second half, guys. I think that many of us might have come into today expecting them to be on the back foot a little bit. We've put Daystar in second for such a long time, but I will say, their ideas, their strategies that they were playing on Clubhouse, I'm super impressed.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the defense half, especially just how dynamic and aggressively they were playing. Even like Colas, for instance. I mean, the last round, obviously some recency bias running outside with the clutch, but he had the last 3 opening kills, and he's not the kind of person you look to have a lot of entry duels or to even be hugely impactful in terms of frag. He's much more supportive and brings a lot more of the tactical side of the game inside of the server. So credit to him.
Yep.
And again, it ties into the storyline that I didn't completely write out Orchid, but I was skeptical of their ability on Clubhouse because we hadn't quite seen them play as a full team.
I agree.
For the majority of the series up until that point, but Clubhouse, they were able to really turn it on, and I think it's very difficult to discredit them in this series. They are, or at least today, were the better team, and they deserve the dub.
You look back at Cafe, Peeps, Critche, Solotic. So they got Solotic to help them out. You look at Chalet, okay, they didn't quite win the map because it was just Peeps and Critche. No one else got above 5. Final map, Clubhouse, and guess what? BG Men, and as you mentioned, like Hollis, they both stand up. Surprise, surprise, you get the win. I mean, clearly there's a team there, a solid team. They get into the grand final for Asia. It's just all about trying to find that consistency and get them all in sync and on the same page in the same map.
How about we get on the same page with Lycolis? Let's not waste any time, Jake. Let's welcome him in. Lycolis, what a win. Are you buzzing right now? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, you feel excited and a bit nervous.
Yeah, look, I want to say, Lycolis, the last 3 rounds that you played there, peeking dirt, running out with the what is going through your mind in those last 3 rounds? You found such instrumental kills throughout all of those 3 rounds.
We feel like both us and Daystar are kind of getting scared of doing whatever outside of the default. So after a couple of rounds, we kind of know they kind of do the same thing that they have been doing in Clubhouse. So I just kind of play like a 50-50, I hope it worked, but maybe it's not. But somehow today I made it work, so it really did help us a lot doing round. Yeah, and a lot of person on our team show up today, so I really get result.
Yeah, congratulations on the win. That's what we were saying on the desk. It felt like everybody was really stepping up in this matchup. But you're talking there a little bit about the aggression in particular that you guys were able to use in the upcoming game against Weibo. Is that something that you'll try to implement? Try and be aggressive and unpredictable inside of the server?
For sure, yeah. There should be things like that. I would say as compared to Daystar, I believe like right now, like the team that perform on the average are performing good on like all the play they are Daystar and Weibo for sure. We kind of feel like cannot like perform always good. We sometimes show up some bad stuff, but yeah, we're trying to do our best, and of course like I do think that if we just like play normally default, we probably couldn't beat like Weibo on the default thing. I believe they have more solid game plan and like kind of structured planning ahead more than us. So of course we have some plan, but we probably need someone to step up to over like the weakness. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
Congratulations, Lycolis, to you and the team, all the boys. I know it's been a good couple of years since you've been able to now be in a grand final, contend for an international event. Must feel great. Do you use this now as a platform where you can clearly get the idea, hey, we're pretty much around the same level as Daystar and Weibo, and like you said, maybe the difference is the consistency and doing it more often. Does that then give you the fuel moving forward to find that little bit extra, to actually find that consistency when you know you're not that far off them?
Good question, but I would say that we probably didn't like think much about it, like about like consistency or whatever. I would say we just like focus on what map we playing and play whatever we think was right, and just doing that is like already like really hard thing to do. So all the other things that need to work on, we're probably gonna go it out the way right now and just play all like what we think is right. Just play RC for today. Yeah.
It's a shame there's not the 2 slots for this stage, like Hollis. That's unfortunate. But obviously, best of luck in the grand final.
Thank you.
Lycolis, obviously a huge performance for you guys. Obviously super happy for you and the team, and I think that you'll go on to do a fair bit of damage given the opportunity that's in front of you with Weibo. Regardless of the context of where they are, where you are, I think that you still have the grit and the server. So I don't want to take up any more of your time because you've got about 40 minutes to prepare for that match, maybe even less. So anything you'd like to say before we let you go and prepare for this match?
No, I'm just gonna go off to cool off some like my head a bit and come back to kick Weibo.
Hope you kick some ass, mate. I hope you kick some ass. Good luck. Lycolis, best of luck, mate. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. See you.
Yeah, we will see you. We will be seeing you in the damn server. Lycolis and co. into the grand final for a spot at EWC. But first, the big bad boogeyman, the dragon in front of them, Weibo. If ever there was a titan of the region, if ever there was a task that would seem somewhat insurmountable, guys, this is probably it.
Yeah, we constantly refer to them as the gatekeepers for a reason. Obviously, Team Orchid will have a very, very brief opportunity to start chatting things over. I'm sure they would have already headed into the play day with preparation ready for Weibo under the guise that they beat Daystar. And they're massive underdogs. Like, I don't think we can 100%. Really emphasize just how big the gap still is with Weibo on top. Though. But exactly, I don't want to look at it from a negative. I think I look at it as just a good opportunity for Orchid to give us some fun siege. I mean, we saw that in the last series. Like, they were, by all accounts, I think most people would have regarded them as underdogs still even in that matchup, and they didn't shy away, especially when it got towards the tail end of the series. They weren't playing like a team that didn't want to lose. They played like a team that wanted to win.
Yeah.
And so I think if they can capture any kind of momentum or have a couple of good moments here or there and keep Weibo on their toes, if they continue to play positively, you just never know how it could actually shake out.
Can I do one of these or?
How long's a piece of string? Probably like not like this, not
Look,
like that.
I just want to close
like
this on before we go to the break. Clearly, you've got a team that in Orchid is the underdog. They've just got to. It's all up here. It's the mental.
It is the
mental. They've got to just. It doesn't matter who's Weibo, whose turn reaps these names. Look at what we saw earlier today in the Xenox Goes Pro. Wedables was not beating player in a 1v1 if he knew who he was playing against. It is mental. But he didn't know who he was playing against. He thought he was playing against me, and he wins. That's the mindset Orchid need going into this grand final. Don't worry about what your opponent's names are and what they look like. Get in the server.
You wouldn't get this analysis anywhere else.
Let's bring on the ramen, baby.
You know what, Jake? You do the honors, mate. This is your time to shine.
We are going to be heading to the break. Now, when we do come back, and this is an extended break, don't worry, though. We will be back very shortly. It will be ramen time featuring Nicholas Morrison.